What's up, everybody? It's Big Cheds. This is episode 27 of the Ask Me Anything Twitter Spaces series. This is going to go into my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading in that playlist for Twitter Spaces. I've got a few of these I'm catching up on. So while you're there, go to the masterclass technical analysis tutorials. I think you folks will like that as well. And just to remind everyone, I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, best-in-class educational platform for crypto. Recently posted one of my reports for free. You can check out the March report to kind of see what I do. I do it twice a week, full market update. So check that out. And of course, I'm the author of Trading Wisdom, Trading Quotes, and My Battles with Cancer. So you can check out all that stuff on Amazon. Let's get back to the video. I'm going to go ahead and get everything started here. And I'll be back at the end, folks. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. A lot of action going on, so I figured I might as well start up one of these. We'll see who shows up. I don't know how long it's going to go. Hopefully it won't turn into like an FA chat. Last couple times it's turned into like a macro chat, but I'm going to try to keep it just kind of ask me anything, talking about Bitcoin price action and all that. So let's see. So if you're just listening, I'll probably eventually upload this to YouTube. For safekeeping, there's a playlist on my YouTube Cheds Trading called Twitter Spaces. So check out that playlist. Check out my masterclass TA webinars if you're kind of interested in learning the basics of technical analysis. I just published a new book, Trading Quotes. It's available on Amazon. I've got the Audible. I finished the Audible a little while ago. Kindle hardcover, paperback, audiobook. Also check out Trading Wisdom. There's a free version of that on my YouTube. So definitely check that out. So what we're going to do is once we get things rolling, I'm going to invite you folks up into the conversation. So there's a button like in the bottom left where you can just kind of request to speak. And I want to hear from you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on, how the price action looks, and all that stuff. I'll bring up a few of you at a time, but I'm going to ask you to just speak one at a time. Like I'm going to just take one person at a time. So just kind of let me handle the muting, unmuting, and all that. So anyway, so let's just take a few moments to kind of fill up the room. Again, hit that button in the bottom left, which is like a request to speak button. And we'll get this started in, say, like 2 or 3 minutes. All right, just almost getting ready here. Almost ready, folks. Almost ready. All right. I'm going to bring a few of you folks up. Just wait until I call your name. Wait until I call your name. Wait until I call your name. All right. ADZ, why don't you go first, man? What's going on? ADZ, what is up, buddy? Can you hear me? ADZ. ADZ. Nope. Try it again. Hey, why don't you come back and I'll get you on next time. So exit the spaces and come back and I'll try to get you. All right. Tycoon, why don't you go ahead, man? What's going on, Tycoon?
Chad, what's happening, man? Thanks for having me up.
Yeah.
Was curious if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor and going over some technical TA analysis on ticker Polkadot, DOT.
Sure. Yeah, no sweat.
Obviously, everything's breaking out right now. I was curious if you could mention, a level of support or where you think a good prop,
it's
the whole 9 yards.
It's okay. It's not. I mean, there's a lot of better stuff to play. Why this one? If I might ask.
I like fundamentally, I like it a lot. I mean, I'm not a big TA guy, but I'd love to know the important, price point.
It's at an important level. because it's a downtrend, right? But it's testing the daily MA 200, and it's also testing. You see, back in July of 2022, you see where it like tried to bottom out. Like, do you have a chart in front of you or no?
No, I don't. Right. One sec. Let me pull it
Yeah,
up.
I mean, if we're gonna do this, let's do it, right? Like, so pull up a chart.
Do it. What you want me on? What 1 hour, 2 hour? What time frame?
24-hour, so daily.
All right.
Pull up the daily, and then take a look at where the price tried.
Yeah, I mean it's been bleeding since August.
Yeah. But to check it out, right? Look where the price tried to bottom in July. All right. In June and July, I'll just tried to bottom in that like 630, 640 range, right?
Yep.
And then it kind of consolidated for a while there in September. So the price is bouncing now, right? So you think about levels, and like with Bitcoin and 18K, like Bitcoin went sideways for 150 days, and it broke down, and like basically 18K was the bottom of the range. So when Bitcoin got back up above it, that was a signal, like a momentum signal, like to go long. And you kind of maybe have that here. Like if the price can get back up above, 650, I think you can maybe look at a long. I think it's somewhat reasonable. It's right at a key pivot. You can either short it or long it here. It's right at that key point to where it's bounced right into the underside, right, of that level we've talked about. So if you want to be more,
do you think if we break through
650,
so 650 is a key level,
yeah,
if we pump through that,
to confirm that, maybe if it got above 740, that would maybe confirm it. I might even add
650 and then 740 would be the next one.
Yeah, that's how I would look at it.
Got it. You're the man.
All right, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to get ADZ up here again. ADZ, can you hear me now, or can I hear you? Can we hear you? Not working, dude. You got to make sure Twitter has access to your microphone, folks. This is an Ask Me Anything segment. I'm just hanging out with you. Hit that button in the bottom left. I want to get a lot of people looking to talk. I enjoy doing these kind of frank and honest conversations. ADZ, nobody can hear you. Reboot your phone, reset everything. Give Twitter access to your microphone. ST Piano, what's going on, man?
Hi, Cheds. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Good, thanks. Good. I must say you're basically my go-to guy for proper analysis and reliable.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah, maybe that means the others aren't so good. I don't know.
Right, that's a low bar. So what's going on?
Well, it's an interesting one. I mean,
Yeah,
it seems to be having some kind of breakout, but obviously it's very unpredictable. Basically, I need advice because
okay.
I'm thinking about not doing the old patterns of greed and holding on for some extra profit or whatever. So I'm just thinking of selling for a small profit. But I did see your thing where you said like it's quite likely to go to 24K if it breaks a certain level. So I just
that was someone else.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I mean, this is a very rapid price movement, and it's
Yeah,
taking me a little
exactly.
bit off
Yeah,
guard.
exactly. Yeah.
But I don't mind. I mean, I got long at 18.5, so I don't mind it. I'm happy. But I have stop losses all moved up. Like I usually enter. When I enter, I usually enter with like 5 or 6 positions, so I can kind of move them at different levels of stop loss.
Yeah.
And that way, like if I get wicked out, it's only part of it. But I've moved all my stop loss. Everything's in profit now, for sure. After that type of a move,
yeah.
I'm interested to see if we can kind of really clear and hold here at 22.5. I mean, 22.5, 22.6. We're right here. Just the way we kind of paused here a little while ago, right at the early November highs. Let me look at it again. I think the November 9th highs. We kind of paused there for a while. People were making fun of that bull flag call by Crypto. We paused at 21.5. We might need to do that again and do like another flag here. I mean, because we just created like a new flagpole, that was a big move in 22.5. Well, now we're looking at the September highs. I mean, this is a big level here. So it's good to be cautious. It's good not to, you don't want to give up all your gains, right?
Okay.
You don't want to round trip. So that's why I like to kind of spread things out and have multiple positions and move them to different levels. And that way, kind of no matter what happens, I'll still always have a piece of the action if it keeps running.
Yeah, totally. Because last time, there was always that, because it was a bull market, I was always holding on for like the next level, or it was a hope based strategy basically. But this time, I'm being much more cautious, trying to snatch little percentage gains and then accumulate over time.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think you want to have a buy the dip posture if we get a nice dip, certainly down to 20K. If we drop below 20K, I would probably wait and see, what it does.
Okay.
And then I would probably buy it like 18.5 type of thing. But it's a beautiful move, and we have to see how it plays out. It's the weekend, and normally we've been, just like sideways on the weekends. We haven't really done much, with Bitcoin on the weekends in like 6 months. Maybe we get some action this weekend, but I mean, if I'm just going off of recent times, we're probably going to just be right here all weekend. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see how it plays out. Maybe there'll be some movement when when the markets open up, or maybe even futures open up on Sunday night. Market opens up Monday. We'll have to see. But what a beautiful move.
Yeah. I mean, it surprised me for sure. I thought it was either going to stay trundling around or just have the surprise drop. So yeah, that was good.
All right, brother. I hope you stay well.
Yeah,
all right?
Cool. Thanks, man. You too.
Have a great evening.
Cheers. Speak soon.
Cheers to you. Let's try one more time for ADZ. He keeps trying to speak. I'm going to try to get him up here. ADZ, can we hear you this time? ADZ, last chance, brother. Try again. It's not working. Let's go with who do we have next? Crypto Moine Dublin.
Yeah, hi, Chet. How are you?
Good, man. How you hanging?
Thank you so much. I've been following you for almost about a year, and the last the thing I saw was on Ivan's channel where you were talking about these major levels that you look at when it crosses those supports. I mean, breaks those supports upwards, then you can get into a new trade basically.
Have you watched my masterclass webinars yet on YouTube?
I think here and there, but I haven't been following every single video or anything like that.
Yeah, I could just hear in the way your question, I mean, the way you're framing it, talking about resistance as support. You want to go to my YouTube channel, and there's a playlist called Masterclass Webinars. There's 3 beginner and 1 advanced. I really think you'll enjoy those.
All right. Okay.
That's where you want to start. It's going to answer most of the questions you might have for me. But go ahead.
Yeah, just my question right now is the way Bitcoin is going up, right? Like the way I do understand the way you said that when it takes those major previous supports, then you kind of get a chance to get in. But the way it has been going up so fast, like, do you think it's gonna pull back, or what is your opinion on or experience based on this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know right now. It's moved a lot. I think it's more likely to pause and consolidate a little bit because we've made a big move already just in the last day.
Right.
So most likely in my view, and that's just a best guess, is really what these are. Best guess is we'll probably pause and consolidate. But I don't know. I have no idea.
True.
I really don't.
All right. Thank you so much for all the great work you do. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, man. Check out the YouTube, okay?
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Let's go, folks. I want to get you in the conversation. Hit request. I will bring you up. Dasha. What is up, Dasha?
Hello, Cheds. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. What's going on with you?
Good. Thank you for letting me speak. I tried to speak with you like multiple times, but thank you so much for giving me a chance. I just want to say thank you for all what you're doing, and I just
thank you for coming. Thanks for joining.
What is your prediction for this year?
I don't have any predictions. What are you talking about? I don't make predictions. I mean, all right. My prediction is that a lot of people will get it wrong. Some people will get it right. Like whatever happens. I mean, it's like a week into the year. I really don't know. I think I have to stop and reassess a little bit, given that we're back above 18K, 18.5. And I think it's time to let things settle out a little bit. I don't think this is the time for predictions right now. I really don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Totally right. Thank you.
All right. JC Vega, what's cracking, man?
Hey, what's going on, Cheds? You can hear me well?
I can hear you just fine. It's nice to have you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, man. Listen, I just want to say that you're the realest out there. Um, I really respect you a lot. You know, you're definitely out here to help everyone. A little bit behind me is I only got into crypto about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I put my life savings into it, thinking I knew everything, not following anyone. And I was buying the
Wow.
top.
But you're
I,
young. You're so.
yeah,
I
yeah,
hear in your voice
I
you're
was buying the
young.
top
So
and selling the bottom, man. No, I'm
yeah,
almost
yeah.
40, and it wasn't until I almost lost all my life savings and until the summer of 22 when I stumbled upon you on Twitter and I started learning more. I'm part of Bitcoin Live. It's great. Whoever's not on
Wow.
it, please.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
please join it. Join it, people. Join it. You'll learn a
You're
lot.
you're kind. You're very
And,
kind.
yeah. And my take was, as I'm learning now, I'm recouping, maybe 20, 30% of all my losses since starting. With this run, Cheds, I do
Yeah.
more of like layer ones, and when they pop, I'll sell them and get into Bitcoin. So when it consolidates, and I jump back and forth, and I don't want to feel FOMO again because I, part of me wants to say this is going to 25, but I'm hoping that I don't want to feel FOMO. Do you think we'll
Yeah.
get down to 21 again, 2021, or should we just go in? I mean, I don't know at this time.
I
It's
mean,
a
what do you
tough
mean?
call.
Should we go in? I mean, what does that mean? I
Well,
mean, so
I do more spot, like I don't go on exchanges with leverage because I've
yeah.
been burnt. So
Good. Good.
I spot.
Yeah.
So and then if it goes down, I mean I eat it, but then it stops me for weeks until I can get back in or something, right? Until you get
Yeah.
so right now I went into Soul and I got out at 24, but I have a feeling it's going to 27, but
Well,
I don't want to
where did you
FOMO.
enter? Where did you enter Soul?
I've been in and out of Soul since $11, $12, but
Yeah, so whatever. You
yeah.
made a nice trade. It doesn't matter where, profit's profit. It's not about the profits you don't make. I mean, who cares? I mean, no one
Yeah,
nails the perfect trade. I mean, you saw on Bitcoin Live, I didn't have anyone buying at 15.5. I mean, because it was too bearish, but
yeah.
we got in 17K and 18.5 and like
I took that 18 trade. Thank you.
good.
The
Thank
18
you. I
too.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you want to trade with the trend and you want to make your life easier. And, simple things you can do is wait for momentum to, like wait for the price to establish a support level,
yeah,
to lose it, and then come back and recapture it. And that's like something you can work with. Wait
yeah,
for the real clear level. I mean, right now, I mean, we just had volatility, so it's the hardest. This is the hardest kind of situation, really, kind of to handicap.
yeah,
That 20. I think the bear thesis is just dead above 25.5.
yeah,
If we get above those May 12th lows, bears are done.
yeah.
We're above the weekly 200.
It's
Um,
going. Yeah,
yeah, I mean that's the height. If we're doing an inverted head and shoulders, that's the neck base. Um, but it's a beautiful move already. I mean, you're long from 18K. Maybe you're long from psychological 20. You could have been
Mhm.
long breaking the November 9th high. Um,
I got out at 21.8. So
yeah, nothing wrong
21.8.
with
So
that. It's
I'm
good.
scared.
It's
I'm like,
good.
do I wait till it hits 25 and then I
But
go
here's
in
the
and then she
thing.
comes down?
Here's the thing, though. You don't know. Here's what I like to do. Like for me, I don't just take like one position and then I'm either fully in or fully out. Like if I want to put, $5,000 into a trade, I'm going to do five $1,000 positions that I can manage.
Got it.
And
Hmm.
that way I could maybe close two or three out and then have other ones at lower levels. I mean, I want to leave myself a piece to ride. I mean, if you can get free riding, I mean, then you're going to be in a good position.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Much
All right.
much respect and love, Chuds.
Hey, appreciate you, man. You stay strong.
Thanks.
I'll talk to you on Sunday for the report.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go with let's get who's next. And folks, there's some spots here. We got about 400 people listening, 428. Hit the button in the bottom left where it says like request to speak. No question, doesn't matter. Just let me know how. Even if no question, just tell me how you're doing, what you think about the market. Come on up. Let's go with Azam.
Uh,
Azam, what is up?
yeah. Hey, Cheds, it's awesome here, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. I have a question. I have been following you for almost a year. You shared a tweet last week. Can I pin it here, share it here? I have a question about it.
Well, a quote or tweet?
It was one of your tweet.
Just ask me the question. I'd like to keep the pinned tweets as
Okay,
is.
Okay, so you tweeted 5 days ago. As a chart guy, it pains me to see
Yeah,
that bottoms and tops can be best measured in sentiment rather than technicals.
yeah, yeah.
So that do you think the recent BTC move was based on TA, or was it just based on sentiments? Like
Well,
from the first
this, yeah.
from the first day of 2023, we are just going up. Like, uh, is it just because year change and sentiments change, or was it actually in the TA?
So it's a great question. It's a great topic, and so there are great fundamental analysts out there, and I tend to be a technical analyst, but I use sentiment. And on the way down in the middle of last year, people were calling sentiment bottom, but for me, there hadn't been one yet. We hadn't seen enough. I've been around long enough to know what a real sentiment bottom feels like. And I actually declared on Twitter in November, like, we've got a sentiment bottom here. But I'm so much of a chart technician that I couldn't buy that much blood, but I was at least open to start to look for a bottom. And so sentiment will it's just a really deadly accurate tool. And it turns out here's a great proof of how sentiment is more accurate than technicals. Sentiment got the bottom in November, but technicals didn't get the bottom, until January 12th when it recaptured the 18K level, right? Was it January 12th? January 12th. So, technicals, basic classical charting, didn't get you in until January 12th. But if you were trading sentiment, you were in, on those November lows. So it's kind of case in point right there of how effective and even more effective, arguably, sentiment can be than technicals. But how do you? What is that? Who's deciding the sentiment? I have a psychology background and I study people pretty closely, and so I get it. It all makes sense to me. I mean, not everyone can do that, but sentiment is powerful. You can use social media to give you kind of a feel for it, so you should pay attention to it. Um, and it's interesting. It's interesting that the technicals were lagging the sentiment signal here. So,
All right.
all right,
So I have got another question. Let's suppose if there was no like Twitter, crypto Twitter, and stuff like that.
yeah.
So would markets only work on the base of TA, or how would sentiment would have come in that place?
Well, I mean, sentiment would still be there. We just wouldn't be aware of it. I mean, if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, like, does it fall? Yeah, it still falls. Just no one hears it, and that's kind of that point. At some point, in terms of technicals, you have enough demand that steps in and reverses that trend of too much supply, of too much selling pressure. So at some point, right, you find an equilibrium between buyers and sellers, and the trend turns around. And so we had that as well. All right, brother.
Okay, one last question.
Okay.
Uh, s- so I usually mostly do sport buys. Like I do not do futures because of my religion issues. So
Yep.
one last thing. Do you think like the bottom is already in the 15K, or we still got a chance to we can go back there?
I think it's probably in. I think its
Okay.
bottom's probably in. But if we like hard reject it at let's say you big picture think we're doing an inverted head and shoulders, and then your trigger level there is 25K. If we hard reject at 25.5, it's very possible the price rolls over and makes lower lows. But to me, that's less likely now, much more less likely than it was at the beginning of January. Recapturing 18K was just a massive blow to bears, which is why you saw me pivot on a dime. I've been like a super bull for a week because the price switched, the price flipped, and I'm not going to stick to my 12K call just because I want it to be right. I mean, when the price, when you get new information, you have to adapt to it. So that's my way I would answer that. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. One more question.
Nope, that's
I
it. I gotta go, man. There's a lot of people
uh,
waiting. All right.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you. All
Thank you.
right. Let's go to HP. What's going on, HP, man? Your turn's up.
Hey, Cheds, thanks for having me. I hope you're well.
I'm doing
Yeah,
good, man. What's
good.
cracking?
Yeah, no. I feel like this might be a bit redundant because you kind of answered it, but I've had a couple trades this week, gone well, I'd say. But my problem is that I feel like I'm cutting them a bit too early. You know,
Are
how would
you
you? Yeah.
like afraid? Have you been in a situation where you've had like a bunch of losing trades, but now You may had a couple like winners, but you want to close them to make sure you get a little bit of a gain, and you know what I mean, to build up the confidence.
I'd say perhaps maybe, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And so you got to, I mean, you really trade the best when you don't care about losing, and not that you don't care about
Mm,
losing, but you've got kind of like knowing that it's okay to lose, and like knowing that it's okay to like have a failed trade. The
mm,
only thing I could say, if you're in that type of a situation, it's the same advice I gave to an earlier caller, is if you split your position up, right, then you don't have
mm.
to close the whole thing out. You can just move your stop loss up to different levels and have kind of progressive levels of profit. So, maybe half of it can close out and you leave the other half and see what happens. So find a way to give yourself more flexibility, and then that will work out for you, I think.
No, that sounds good. I think I'll give that a go.
Have you
Thank you.
seen my
Yeah,
YouTube yet? Have you watched my YouTube stuff?
I have, yeah, over
Great.
a year and a half now. Yeah,
How about the new book? Have you listened to the new book yet, or read the
I've
new book?
listened to the old book. I haven't listened to the new book. I need to
Check it
download it
out.
on.
It's on Audible. It's on Audible,
Yes, yeah,
brother.
I will. I will.
I
Don't
love it.
worry.
It's a good one. It's a good one. All right, brother.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for hanging out tonight. Someone named Test. I hope it's not a troll, but it's Test is the name. What's
Yeah,
going on?
yes, going great. I just want to know what's the dependency of an actual bull run on the Bitcoin's halving, which is, I think, supposed to happen next year.
What's the
Can a real,
dependency on it? Like what? Like is it relying on
yeah,
it? Is that what you mean?
yeah, so basically, can a bull run happen before the halving? Like, it
Sure.
might be, I mean, this must be it, or maybe it is dependent on when the bull run actually happens
Well, what's a
after
bull run
the
mean to
halving.
you? I mean, that's a little bit of a turn of phrase. I mean, what does that mean to you? A bull run? Are we not all like right now having a bull run? What does it mean
No,
to you?
so for me, it is not just going up for just 1 week or two. I
Yeah.
mean, let's for a whole month, the Bitcoin is on an average going 4x or at least 6x for a whole
From
month.
what? From here?
Uh,
Like I don't
Not
understand. Like
necessarily.
what does it
Yeah.
mean? What does a bull run mean? Give me more. What does it exactly mean to
So
you?
so let's say since the past 2 3 weeks, the Bitcoin has started to go up. So if it continues to go up, not just only up on an average, it's going up for the whole month.
Yeah.
I would consider it as a bull run. If it
Yeah.
goes up for 2 or 3 weeks and then goes down for
Mhm.
2 4 months, weeks again, then probably not a bull run for me.
I mean, I don't know exactly. I still don't know what you mean. I mean, do we make a new high? Is that, or what if we go to 50K and then we stop? Is that still a bull run to you?
Yeah, if only it happens for a longer duration, not just it goes to 50K
It's not about the
tomorrow
time.
and
You're
then goes
focusing
down.
on the wrong thing. I don't understand what you're doing. I mean, it's about price gains. It's not about like how long it happens or when it happens. Like what matters is momentum. Can the price recapture lost support?
So if
So
it just
mhm,
if it goes up for on a single day to, let's say, 100K and then goes down again to 20K,
yeah.
would that previous day would considered as a bull run?
Well, if we break the prior all-time high, I mean, you can't. Yeah, of course, that's a bull run. So let me
All
just try
right.
to answer your question. Um, I think we can have a not that I think we will, but if it's in the cards, I don't think you need to wait for a halvening to make an all-time high. I'm not saying look, don't put me a record. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but like it's all about supply and demand, and if buyers step in, and if people have locked up coins, they're holding on to it, and there's just enough buyers stepping in, they can make a run absent of a happening. I think there's some correlation to that, but yeah, it can happen at any time. So um, it's great to have you, man. I hope you do well. All right, let's go with Hitesh. Nice to see you again, Hitesh. What's going on, bud?
Hi Sheds, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. What's up with you?
Yeah, so Sheds, I read your tweet regarding that rising pennants and rising
What?
wedges after a
Rising bull
strong
flag.
move.
Rising bull flag. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now I am all confused. Like, if there is a strong move
Me
up
too.
and
Me too.
then
Hey, hold one
yeah,
second. 1 second, please.
okay.
Roast beef bandit, please do not unmute yourself. Sean, please wait for me. All right, go ahead, Hitesh. Sorry about that.
So if there's a strong move up and then the price starts forming a rising wedge or a rising pennant,
Uh-huh.
So how do we identify, like, is it going to, is it a bearish, is it forming a bearish price action, or is it forming a bullish price action? Because what I read was that if it breaks, even if it breaks in the opposite direction of,
Yeah.
then it would probably be a stop loss hunting, and it will go make a stronger move
Yep.
towards the same trend. So now I'm all
Mhm.
confused, like, if there's a, like,
Yeah.
rising wedge,
Sure.
how do we identify, basically, how do we try to, make a, that is it going to be a bearish, is it bearish pattern, or is it a bullish pattern which is being
So
formed?
it's a great topic. So here is the by the way, have you watched my masterclass webinars on YouTube yet?
I've started watching some of them. I have watched already, and I'm
Good.
also going through your the earlier book,
Good. Good.
audible the earlier audible book, so I'm doing it one by one.
So here's the thing you want to keep in mind. This is, there's foundational wisdoms, right? Most
Yeah.
reversal patterns fail.
Right.
Okay? Most continuation patterns succeed. So the trend tends to continue, right?
Right.
So like, people see a double top, 2 out of 3 double tops fail. Okay? So
Okay.
you can identify a pattern, but it's not about identifying a wedge or whatever. It's about like how do you play it, and that's the whole thing. It's not about like people get hung up in like naming stuff and debating it, and that's fun, right? But it's about how you define an idea. I'm short here because, and here's where I'm wrong, and so you have to base that based on horizontal levels, based on supply and demand. So something like a rising wedge, you want to be on watch potentially for like a breakdown, but you don't act upon it prematurely. But if it starts to lose a support level, it starts to lose like a higher low, that's something you can act on. So you have to your way of thinking, you need to plant this deep in your mind that most reversal patterns fail,
Right.
and
Okay.
most continuation patterns succeed. They continue because trends tend to continue.
Continue. Right. So
All
if
right.
there's a pattern like rising wedge forming, so basically we need to start paying attention that there is something which is being formed, and then we need to see that if it breaks above the resistance, or it breaks below the
Mm-hmm.
support, and then we can take a decision on, like, how to move forward.
Yeah, like for me, a rising wedge, if I want to go short on a rising wedge, I'm either going to play an up thrust, right? Like a temporary break of resistance and then losing it, or I'm
Right.
going to play where it loses a higher low. Like I'm going to give myself some line in the sand that I can use to defend, my trade idea. And that's how I would play it.
Okay. And just one more question, Sheds. Like, I have been reading, some of the people are saying that, when the Fed pivots, we are going to have a pullback. So I'm not able to understand what they actually mean. So can you throw a little
Doesn't
light
matter.
on?
It really doesn't matter. That's just what people do to pass the time. They're speculating.
So
Like,
all we need to do is concentrate on price action, right? Because it's
yeah,
like,
I mean, well,
yeah,
yeah, if that's what you're trading, right? When you work hard. I can hear in your voice you're a hardworking guy, and if you're going to risk your funds, I mean, don't risk it on what someone on TV or Twitter is saying.
right,
Like, it's based on what the price is doing, either hold support or not.
right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks, Sheds. Thank you so much. And so
Hey.
nice to be back on Spaces.
Yeah, I mean, I worked really hard last year, and I realized I was doing too many, and I kind of burned myself out. But this is a nice time. I like to pop in and do one. So, but for the folks who are listening, no promises that I'm going to keep doing a lot of these. But anyway, good to see you, Hitesh.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you so
care,
much.
man. Let me do a quick reset. I'm Big Cheds on Twitter, author of Trading Wisdom. You can get that book for free on YouTube. Ched's Trading. About a third of the book is up there for free. I also publish Trading Quotes. I think it's an awesome book. Kindle hardcover, paper book, and audio. I'm founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, world-class team. If you want to learn how to trade like a professional, check that out. This is like episode 27 of these Twitter Spaces. I've got a whole playlist on my YouTube to check out. If you're listening right now, I want to hear from you. Hit the button in the bottom left to request to speak. I'll bring you up. We'll just talk candidly. We'll have a kind of honest conversation. Let's get Saleh Al Abdali. And by the way, if I mispronounce your name, don't take it personal. Saleh,
My friend
you are up.
Cheds.
Yo.
Yeah, it's Saleh from Kuwait. I'm sure you remember me.
Um, I think so, but I'll be if I
You
say
and
I'm
Big
not sure.
Jonas, I used to,
Good.
yeah,
How you doing, bud?
follow you both. It's been a while, Big Cheds. The last
Yeah.
video uploaded on YouTube was 3 months ago. Hope to see some videos soon.
1 month ago. You have to hit
3.
the uploads.
The
Uploads.
uploads.
3
All
months
right.
ago was the last Trading
Yeah.
Wisdom video.
I
But you know,
suggest.
I worked so hard last year. I want to
Mhm.
enjoy myself this year. Like I'm taking like an art class. And, you know, I'm just like I want to do other.
That's weird. Yeah.
You know, I'm doing just expand your hobbies. But go ahead.
So I don't want to take a lot of your time, Cheds. I know there are a lot of speakers who are requested to speak. I'm sure you and your great friend Peter Brandt, you both are two legendary technical analysts.
Well, to be mentioned, to be mentioned in the same conversation is pretty great. I mean, the guy's a legend. But
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
So other than being, it's a pleasure being here with you. First of all, second
Thank
of all,
you.
he tweeted something 5 days ago
Yeah.
about his guest
Head and Shoulders. Yeah, I tweeted that out
the
too.
inverted head and shoulders.
Yeah, I mean that's a thesis, and you think about it.
Mhm.
I mean, we might not even do it. It might be so strong we don't even form a right shoulder.
So you do not project that we might go up to 25K, then retest 18.5.
No, well, first of all, I had the same tweet as him, like the same day, or like hours
Really?
around the same time. Yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, it's just it's like we're making our best 60% guess at any given time. You know.
Yes.
You form. It's just how does a Head and Shoulders form? You have a support level that you lose, and then you recapture, and then it consolidates, and along the way it kind of has a high water mark of those bounces, those mean reversions. That's your neck line, your neck base line.
Yes.
So I mean, look, that's why above 25K, like the Bears are dead, really above 25.5. I mean, it's over. I think. So
They're still alive. Some of them are still alive. You think?
Well, yeah, Crypto Capo's out there, short and strong is his tweet.
Did he block you?
No, I don't think. I mean, blocking me would just be like admitting he knows I exist. Not that I care,
Exactly.
but like and that's why people compared me to him, and it was kind of annoying because he seemed inflexible. Like you.
No, you know why people compared you to him? I read a lot of comments and the people who speak at the bottom of your tweets.
Yeah.
You were a huge bear. I know you always say follow the trend. The trend continues. Trend continue. Used to, but then you at the 18.5 recapture, you flipped.
100% right. I was on a dime, on it because that was such a big signal. I mean,
Cheds,
that's
why is this price so significant that made you flip 100%?
Because first classical charting principles teach you that you have that 150-day range. Everything for me just goes back to my teaching and my experience. The 150-day range, when you break down from that, you should have a significant follow through.
Yes.
And we didn't, and we recaptured that level. It's a spring. It gives you a spring. It gives you a false bear breakdown. As much as I wanted to look like a genius on my 12K call from April, I mean, it went from 40 to 15.5.
I remember.
Didn't get to 12K. Like that's pretty good, but it's
I remember.
it wasn't
I sent
perfect.
you a direct message when we were at 42K after the Luna thing, and you texted me, "We're going to 12 to 15K range." I can send you the screenshot.
I mean, I was like partially
You missed
right.
it by 3K, but I mean,
yeah, it's pretty good.
It's astonishing.
Good, right?
I didn't even believe you.
It's because it was momentum, and I was a super bear. But look, I will pay attention I will always pay attention when lost support is recaptured. And so, and so I did, and I'm happy that I mean, and that's the whole thing where I don't want to nail the bottom. I'm never going to nail. I mean, I got lucky. I called the top in the day it happened. I think I got really lucky. Right? Like it's not about nailing the exact top or bottom. It's about riding the trend and recognizing when it changes. And I'm happy to hop on long at 18.5. We're already at like 22.7. I'm not going to get chopped out and stub my toe and all that, trying to call a bottom before it happens. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
I'm with you, man.
It's a pleasure, brother.
Thanks, man. Hey, best to you and the family. Okay.
Thank you, man.
All right. Thank
Talk
you
to
so
you
much.
soon.
Thank you. Let's go with This is a great conversation. I love doing these. I'm sorry I don't do more often, but it takes some mojo. Let's go with Andy. You've been patient, Andy. What's going on?
Thank you, Chet.
Thank you.
I got question because I fully agree with you regarding reclaiming this level 80.5 that we just talked. But
Yeah.
I got a question regarding then altcoins because sometimes in past you were saying that there was little pump on the Bitcoin, not so much, but then you were saying, well, altcoins are pumping, it's a bad sign. And is it something that it's worrying you now that
I see. Yeah. So that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. So it's about context, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the time that you get concerned about altcoins pumping is after a big Bitcoin run, and usually after like a sustained Bitcoin run, because you'll see this pattern over the years. It will go Bitcoin and then Ethereum, and then it will kind of trickle down. You'll see everything else running. Everything's kind of moving in concert or moving together at the same time right now. So I don't really see any kind of like red flags in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in the sense of what we're talking about.
Okay.
So it's context. It's tough, but every signal is context. It's about, what has come before it, just the relationship to price and resistance,
Okay.
support and resistance.
All
right.
right.
What else you got? Anything else?
The reason I asked this was, because I just maybe I got too much bias that this is some kind of trap.
Well, we all get that.
Yeah,
we're all guilty of that sometimes. That can happen to anybody.
Mm. And I was following few blockchain analysts that were saying that something is wrong because I don't know, there was not enough stable coins flowing to exchange.
Do not ever base a trade on something like that. Like that stuff's fun to kind of think about, like big picture, mechanics, but you should never be trading based on chain. It's just not how it's not what it's meant for. That's not the purpose or the function of that, right? Okay.
Yeah. Only the last.
Listen, you're gonna get a dip. There'll be a dip at some point, and it will be you'll have another trade opportunity. Like if we're going to 100K, like there'll be all these like temporary tops and bottoms and retests of support, and price structure will give you something to work with. So don't like it's okay. Like let the next pitch. Let the next good pitch come to you, kind of in the baseball metaphor. All right.
So only the last question, because what?
All right.
Because as like I said, I was biased because I got impression that big. Let's. I know what you think about, but I got just that bias that.
What's your question, my friend? I want to move on.
That big boys didn't buy only retails. If somebody missed this move, what then we would recommend to just buy the dip, like you mentioned, something like retest MA 34 and okay.
Yeah, I'd probably wait. I'd probably wait for it to go to like 18K, or maybe wait for it to break 25.5. Wait for like price interaction with a major level. It needs to consolidate. This has to consolidate. It'll probably start to pause and consolidate again. So
okay, thank you a lot, Chet. Yeah, thank you for what you.
Take care, man. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, let's go with Crypto Junkie Junior.
That's me. Thank you.
That's you. That's right.
Appreciate the space.
How's the senior though? What's the story with the senior?
Oh, I'm just.
No, if you're junior, what's up with the senior? If you're junior,
I'm just an amateur. That's the junior.
Oh, okay. Well, we're all amateurs, right? We're all here talking to each other on a Friday night.
Gotta be humble.
That's it.
So I guess my question: you seem to be really good at reading the charts and pivoting.
Yeah.
I guess I try and take macro into account, but what would you want to see on the Bitcoin chart that would get you to consider it like an actual rejection of a price level? Like, what would the chart look to you?
So there's there's some big levels. The biggest one's 25.5. You think of the May 12th low on Bitcoin. I remember that day vividly. I was staying at an Airbnb, and it was like it was right on the street, and like it was like the trash collector came at like 4 a.m. and woke me up, and people were talking about Tether, it was unpegging or whatever. But that's the May 12th low. And then you look where the price rejected on the rising wedge in the middle of August when we had the triple negative divergence. Anyway, so you get above 25.5, you're above those two key data points, and you're above the weekly MA 200. I think the bear thesis is dead. If we're above 25.5, any kind of remaining bear thesis in a high time frame. And then, 18K. 18K has to hold. If it's an inverted head and shoulders, that would be the invalidation of the right shoulder. So for me to kind of rephrase it in a more simple way, if we look at what happened, the price traded in a range between June and the price broke down and traded in a range between June and November. Junior there, brother Junior, and it the bottom of that channel was 18K, right? And then it lost 18K support. We found a way back up above it. We're back into the range. We've recaptured, it's like war, right? 18K is that important hill that we lost. And then we got flushed back into the jungle. We found some more troops. We came back and we recaptured that hill. Now that's the forward operating base, right? For the bulls to continue to advance. So that's a big, big, big level, 18K. So 18K, 18.5, 22.5. Keep an eye on that.
That totally makes sense. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Take care. All right. All right. Let's see who's next here. David, you've been patient, man. Nice to see you, David.
Yeah, you too, Cheds. Thanks. You sort of answered my question a little bit on when you were just speaking, but what percentage chance do you think we reject at the 200 weekly? Because we went right through the 200 daily like it wasn't there.
Yeah, we really did. What is the percentage chance we reject? I would say better than 50%.
And as long as it's below that, right? As long as we're below that, like the long-term trend is still in jeopardy, like you spoke about.
Yeah, weekly trader, absolutely. But if you're a weekly trader, you are still observing the signs of weakening bear trend, right? We're looking at the 820 MA cross on the weekly chart now. First tag of the weekly EMA 34 since November. First touch of the weekly upper Bollinger Band since November. So you have evidence of weakening bear trend on the weekly chart, which you have to observe. Right? So if you're going to use an analogy, the red lights definitely turned orange at this point. It may not be green yet, but it certainly turned orange on the weekly chart.
Yeah, that was my question to you on Bitcoin Live. Yeah.
Oh, you're on BCL. You're on Bitcoin.
Yeah, and that was my question to you.
Of course you are. There you are. Oh, it was. Okay. Did I answer it the same way in both places or no?
You said turning green, I think. But yeah, I'm more.
Well, that was the daily charts turning green. I think the daily chart's definitely gone orange to green, but weekly chart. I mean, because you in a mature manner asked about the weekly chart. That's more big picture. So I have to be a little bit more measured when you kind of asked it in that way, which you did a good job of. But I mean, daily chart, you're much more enthusiastic in the daily chart.
Yeah. I'm much more interested on the longer time frames right now, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I got a little bit caught off guard here, honestly. But I'm ready. I'm so ready to pivot with new information, and you saw it. 18.5. So be interested to see what happens from here. So.
Yep.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Take care, brother. Thank you so much. Let's go with let's get some folks in the conversation who have been waiting. Let's see. If you hit that button in the bottom left, I'll bring you into the conversation. Please wait until I call your name. Crypto Wolfie. What's going on, Crypto Wolfie?
What's up, Big Cheds?
Not too much. What's up with you?
Oh man, I'm loving the pump. It's just
you got to respect the pump, right?
Of course. It's just really cool to see, and I know a lot of people have been hurting, so
Yeah.
they've been in that really sort of dumpy mentality, and so now it's just nice to see a relief bounce, and this rally I know is giving a lot of people hope, and
Yes.
I love that for them, you know. So for people, I think like you, I'm sure you're trading a lot, and I think it's easier to spot, what you do because that's just what you do. But for a lot of people that are newer to the crypto space, I'm sure they're just kind of thinking to themselves, "Oh shit, what did I do? I'm
Yeah.
losing." And it's been, so much downward momentum for so long, since like November 21. So,
But you kind of need that, and it happens every cycle. You kind of need that, and that's how we get these sentiment bottoms to form.
right.
That's how we get. People have to give up, and people have to essentially think that Bitcoin's going to zero, and they have to feel. It has to really feel like it might actually do that, and it's amazing how that marks the bottom almost every time.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but just a couple of questions.
Go for it.
As far as your favorite time frame to trade on, what would that be?
Usually like 4 hour, and then daily is how I kind of usually operate.
Nice.
I like to use the 4 hour. I mean, the ship, when you think about a ship, it takes a while to turn around, and
Right.
then like a cruise ship or something, and then you can go to a lower time. You can go to as low time frame as you need to suit your bias. So you have to kind of pick like a line in the sand somewhere. You have to kind of figure out what suits you. And I've just found Bitcoin, especially, just real true on the 4 hour. Real
Yeah,
true in the 4 hours.
absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I've seen many formations where, the fake outs were happening on the 1 hour, and then it was like, oh shit, I just needed to back up a little bit. The other question I have is, there's been a lot of talk about AI and that being sort of like the next narrative, sort of the next thing that's going to be pumping, like the
Yeah.
FUDs out there.
Okay.
Are you partial to that? Have you spotted any other sort of narratives that have been swirling around that you think could be more
No,
profitable?
I'm not even aware of this AI narrative till you told me. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
even really pay attention to any of that. And then I can be slow to it. Like I'm not gonna, some people, the people. Well, most people will probably find the stuff before I do. Like a lot of my charts I tweet out, I get from Bitcoin Live members who are asking me like as a request to cover something. And I've never heard of this stuff. I don't, like cover, like sit around all day looking for everything. So, it's once it starts to show a little bit of juice is when it kind of comes onto my radar because I'm just a price guy and that's all I really care about. Because for me, it's all a scam. These are all scams.
Right.
These are just vehicles for speculation. I
Oh,
mean, that's just
absolutely.
it,
Yeah,
and
100. I definitely believe that for sure.
like I'm
Yeah.
happy to be wrong if some of them are legitimate projects, and I'm sure some are, but I have to have some type of approach, and that's the approach that works for me.
Yeah. I was telling my buddy about Solana, like when it was like below $10, and he was
Mhm.
like, "Crypto's a scam, everything's a
Of
scam, blah, blah,
course,
blah."
of course,
I
of
was
course.
laughing when it turned around, but I mean, you do what you can to find plays, and as
Yeah,
far as I knew, when Alameda had a lot on its books, everybody started fudding that. Everybody thought they were going to be dumping their holdings, and they kind of did. And then it was like, well, fundamentals are the same, everything's the same. I just say, you don't have to believe in crypto, to buy it. If you could just use it for what you're trying to use it for, which is spot a trade. Know you're in, know you're out, and that's
yeah.
it. You don't have to believe in the project.
Just don't marry these things, man. It's just most of my big losses in life have come from things I really believed in. I mean, all of them. And I found that when you believe in something, you are giving yourself almost permission to ignore like when support breaks.
Sounds
And
like
that's
my
not good.
ex-wife's situation.
I can 100%, man, 100%, right? Dating and trading, there's a lot of similarities. So,
Oh man, I
did you
appreciate your
know?
time, Big Chaz.
Did
You're the
you know
man.
that? Did you know that good trades are like first dates? They both start out with an exit plan.
I like it.
It's one of my quotes. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
Thanks, Chad.
Take care, buddy. That
You
was a
too.
poor delivery. I kind of stumbled through it. I just took a short, by the way, on Bitcoin. at 22.5 on the 1 hour outside bar. I think it makes sense for us to pause here, but I'm ready to be wrong. It's, real tight stop loss 22.7. I tweeted it out. Let's go with Honest, 333 Honest. What's going on, man?
Hey, Big Cheds. Thank you for having the space.
Sure. Thanks for hanging out.
Awesome. So I have a question. So how it started with crypto for me is like I got into Solana a couple months ago, and actually a year ago. So I writed it down. One day I just completely gave up and it's like, I'm done with this project. Like you said, don't marry the project. I kind of realized that. So that's really good to hear. So after that, I started learning technical analysis on a serious basis. Now, the question I have regarding this breakout is, what I have learned is you can trade the resistance in two ways. Either you trade it on a breakout or a breakout and a retest. But at 18,500, a retest didn't happen. It just went shot up. Like, how would you see that? Like, wouldn't you want to wait for a retest to confirm, like, okay, the sentiment or the price action has changed and we are surely going up?
I mean, right, like all levels are not created equally, right? So when we're talking about 18K, 18.5, that's the bottom of a 150-day range that we lost, right? And then we recaptured it, and not only that, we broke the prior lower high from when it bounced. What was that day?
14.
December 14th. Yeah, I mean, I don't really need to wait on something like that. And again, like all levels are not created equally, right? But that's I'm not. I mean, a retest would have been great, but the best, if you look at study classical charting, the strongest trends are the ones that don't even come back and give you a throwback. You don't even get that retest option. There's a lot of breakout traders out there. One of them is Matt, a guy I follow. Matt knows, he's really good. But so like if you look at it, right, the ones that break away gap even with equities and don't come back and they don't fill the gap, right? Those are the strongest ones. So we might not even get a retest. Maybe we do, and obviously you'd want to buy there, right, on the throwback thesis.
I see.
But you don't always get that.
Okay. I see. That's amazing. Another question I have for you is another thing that I've been reading is like when the price is very near the support or resistance, it's just crawling near it. That somehow shows or signifies that line, that resistance or support is not that strong because it's not pushing away the price abruptly as soon as it came to it. It's just hanging around there. So what do you think about that?
So can you rephrase it real quick?
Let's say the price is I don't know the word for it. It's just chilling around at that resistance level. That kind of makes it a little weaker because it's not going down straight away, or it's not even going up. It's just there nearby. So the bears are not pulling it down. The bulls are not pulling it up. So it's kind of making the resistance weaker every day that it remains at the resistance that close.
Yeah. So look, the price will often pause and need to digest. And you think about it, where if you have lost like a bear flag forms, or maybe like a bear rectangle or bear pennant, where you make a big move down and then you kind of you consolidate for a while and then you break down further and you have another leg. If you eventually bounce, especially if it was a prolonged consolidation in that bear pennant, you're unlikely to just kind of chew or jump right through it. Normally you'll have to pause and work through, because people who bought the low, they're selling out because they don't think they're going to make it. And the people who went long in the bear flag, they're getting out because now they're back to even. So that's just a rebalancing of the supply and demand. And that's when you're at a key level, you have to switch to a lower time frame and kind of look for some type of information there based on what the trend is going to do. Right.
I see. Awesome. That's all the questions I have. Thank you so much. And
take care,
too.
man. Thank you so much. All right. Be good. Let's go with we'll do a few more here. Let's go with TK. TK, what's going on? Thanks for stepping up.
Hello, Cheds. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of the information that you're giving. We appreciate it a lot.
All right.
Thank you, man. You're welcome. So my questions are, You said that the most important level is 25.5, and bears are out after that level.
Yeah, I think
So,
so. Yeah.
my question is, what do you think about the 28 to 29K level, the place where we dumped summer 2021? Then the price hovered there for a while, I think. Do you think it will pay like big significance, or
What level
it
again? I'm
can
sorry.
around 29, 28K?
Yeah, that's a big deal
That
too. That's a big level as well. Yeah, absolutely. That's an important level. If you look at when you, again, it's the same kind of same situation with the 18K essentially, where you have a prolonged support range and then you eventually fail to hold it. And we tried to bottom there in May, right? And we eventually broke down there at the beginning of June of 2022. So, breaking back up above 28K would be another blow to bears. And it would also be a level that you could go long if you hadn't gone long yet, because that would be another defensible trade idea upon the recapture of that lost support level.
yes, that's exactly what I wanted to know. It seems a significant level, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not really something technical. It's like just my speculation, but I think that this rally could really accelerate at some point just because of all the sentiment we've had, the collapse of Luna and FTX. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that when people start feeling the real FOMO, like the retail, because most of the retail is still not here, in my opinion, I think that's when we can break those levels, and
Mm-hmm.
it could go probably higher than 28.
Will be fun to watch either way.
Yeah, exactly. So
All right.
thank you a lot for having me.
Thank you so much. I wish you well. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. We'll do a few more folks on Big Cheds. I'd encourage you to check out my YouTube channel, Cheds Trading. Go to the playlist, masterclass webinars. I don't really do these spaces all that often. Recently, I did them a lot last year. I'm kind of taking it easy this year, but I may pop on from time to time. Let's go with Meta Banks.
Hey, Big Cheds, how are you?
Good, man. Why don't you ask your question and then I'll mute you just because there's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, I'm actually on the plane. I'm flying from Dominican Republic to the US, so that's why you're hearing the pressure from the plane. So my
Okay.
question was, why did you take that trade to short the Bitcoin? Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading your book. I
Yep.
actually read your book where you said when you at the resistance and you go down to maybe a lower time frame and look at maybe
Exactly
bullish
right.
or bearish
Exactly
time
right. That's
averages
exactly why I'm
before
doing
you
it.
take the trade. And that's what I'm actually waiting for. Even though I'm actually looking at my phone, I don't have my
Yep.
computer with me, and I don't want to take a
Mm-hmm.
trade on my phone, according
Yeah.
to your advice as well. I'm not hungry to take the trade, but I was just curious to know why you did it because I didn't have access
Yeah.
to my chart.
Great one. Let me mute you while I answer, okay?
No problem.
So, let me try it again. There we go. So, yeah, the price is at a key level, right? 22.5K is a level we've been talking about and targeting for a while. You break 18K, the next major level is 22.5, right? That was the 21.5 was the minor level, but 22.5, that was the attempted higher low when the price attempted to bounce. It was the initial mean reversion from July and August. We had that rising wedge. If you folks remember the triple negative divergence in the OBV, that's when it broke down and it failed to hold 22.5. So you triggered a sell signal on August 19th based on the inability to hold that higher low. When the price found a bottom in the beginning of September, it bounced. And where did it reject? September 13th, right around 22.5, 22.6. We now have an unbelievable bounce in the last 2 weeks. We've now bounced, in the last whatever couple weeks, like 30%. That's ridiculous for Bitcoin. I'm still mega long, right? I'm happily long. Stop loss is deeply in profit, but I'll take another short trade, a smaller one, albeit just on the possibility that we pause and consolidate here, which we're likely to. Even if we're still bullish, it's likely to pause here. It just broke out from the prior bull flag, the prior consolidation range, January 14th through 19th. We just went to the upper Bollinger again. It's, I wouldn't be surprised to see it just pause here for a few days. Even if we do a bull flag, a downward sloping bull flag, a falling wedge, it's at a key level. So I'm going to hedge my long position by taking this short position. And I did that while I was doing the spaces. I just pulled up the 1 hour chart, and we have an outside bar. So that's something I can work with. That's something to look for. Okay, we have an outside bar in the 1 hour. It hasn't closed yet, but it's some potential evidence of a little bit of a pausing, a little bit of indecision. I could very easily get stopped out here before the spaces is over. I'm okay with that. It's a very tight stop loss, 25, like 22.7 or just above that. So I like entering at a key level because I can have my trade invalidation close by. So I'm still a trader, even though I'm still long bias. It doesn't mean I'm not, I might take another trade, especially when the price is right at a key level. Hopefully that explains it for you. All right, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ed.
Cheers, man. Safe flight and stay well.
Bye.
Let's go with Avid. What's up, man?
What up, Chad? It's good to hear you're taking some time off, man. Life's important.
I'm trying.
You know what I mean? It's easy to get caught up in work. So
Yeah.
jumping right into my question. I'm curious about, when I was new to trading, I was looking at too much low time frame stuff. Now I'm kind of more of like looking for swings and, position trades. My question is, first of all, as far as an indicator, do you ever use VPVR, the volume profile
No,
visible
I
range?
don't. I don't, but I think it's a good one because anything that's a volume-based approach is important because all candlestick signals are based on volume. You want to look at volume in relation to patterns, and all that good stuff. I don't, but it's one of those where I very much think it's a really good one to use. I just don't need it. I don't use it.
Okay.
But I think it's good though. I wouldn't it's not like the RSI or the MACD, things that I tend to kind of disparage a little bit. I mean, it's volume, and you're looking at where volume is. So I think that's a good one to use.
Okay, and then my second question is I've heard for the longest time the 200 week. This has been a narrative in Bitcoin for a long time. How it's traditionally support. Obviously, we sliced it on the way down.
Yeah.
My question is I think I've been looking at the 200 day, and I think I heard you mention 150. What are the other kind of just time frame trends that you're watching for touches on to kind of, because not just looking at the horizontal levels of price where we have resistance and support, but just kind of the trends.
What time frame?
where you.
What time frame?
I mean, I'm looking at the daily and the 4 hour.
Well, I mean, daily chart, MA 200 is a big deal, and so now we're now above all the moving averages, right? So we have to, obviously you would use the EMA 8 primary uptrend support. I don't know if you've seen the masterclass series on YouTube. I talk about why EMA 8. You'll notice how it will be really, support or resistance. If it's a strong move down, it's going to go lower Bollinger to EMA 8, lower Bollinger to EMA 8. And here, it's support in a strong trend. So you kind of watch for when that's lost. So in any trend, especially a trend that's gone down and then sideways and is starting to go up, it's going to ride the 8, and you watch that. And then when that fails, you start to watch for the EMA 34 or the MA 20, aka secondary uptrend support. But right now, it's just an acceleration mode. We're above daily. We're above the 200. We're riding the EMA 8. We're above it. Really haven't touched it. Barely just touched it yesterday. It's just really strong. So 4 hour, I usually watch the MA 200. That's a pretty important one. We're above that. But you don't want to just you want to let the price tell you what to watch. Right now, it just broke out. We got to let it consolidate. We got to see what it does here on the 4 hour. In terms of moving averages. And obviously the weekly 200 is important because the 200 moving average is the trend in classical charting, right? And if you have a rising MA 200 with the price above it, it's an uptrend. If you have the falling MA 200 with the price below it, it's a downtrend. And then if you have some kind of a combination of that, it's an unconfirmed uptrend or an unconfirmed downtrend.
Thanks, Chad. Stay
Cheers.
well, man.
Thanks, man. All right, let's go with Mickey. We'll do a few more. Mickey, what's cracking?
Cheds, how are you, brother?
I'm all right, man. I'm doing okay tonight. I'm good, man. # blessed.
Absolutely. Look, I've heard all the technical questions, so I thought I'll change it up a little bit for you. I'm going to test the best of your non-TA skills. It's Friday night. It's been a brilliant week. I think everyone's made a bit of money, which is brilliant. What are you drinking, mate? What are you having to drink?
It's a Cabernet Malbec blend.
Oh, fantastic! That's something different.
Yeah, I mean that's how I like to roll. I like Malbecs a lot. I like a little more tannic. I like and the downside is you have to give it a little time to breathe. It's not as good right out of the bottle, obviously.
Absolutely, a bit like
So
Bitcoin right now. Give it a bit of time to breathe.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let it breathe.
That's right. All right, brother. I just wanted to change it up a little bit because everyone's going technical on you.
Good. I'm glad you did.
Enjoy your weekend.
Take care, brother.
See ya.
All right, let's go with True Lurker. What's up, True Lurker?
Hey, Cheds. Appreciate you giving me the floor. How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, for sure. Like the last speaker, I'll keep it a little non-technical.
Good.
I got into crypto around April 2021, right around when Elon went on SNL, and we all kind of know what happened after that.
Yes.
Historical, maybe.
Yeah.
So definitely more of an investor, less of a trader. But my approach for keeping tabs on the market and keeping up with the projects that I have positions in has primarily been listening to influencers, and there's so much noise out there. I mean, YouTube, crypto Twitter, etc. I don't even touch TikTok, but I'm sure it's crazy over there too. There's a ton. There's so much information, and in 2023, I'm looking to really simplify the way that I analyze the market, and the way that I capture different perspectives to help me make my own personal decisions and build my own confidence into that. Your appearance on today on the Ivan on Tech show, which was great, by the way.
Cool. He's been good to me. He's a good guy.
He is. I would definitely throw him in the influencer category, but there's something different about him. So I got into him recently. I understand he's got Morales Academy. I want to kind of look more into that, but
I don't know what that is, so I can't speak either way.
Yep, no problem. So you showed a very simplistic approach, and there were a lot of comments that Cheds is so simple with his wording and his approach and everything.
It's a compliment. It's just like the best compliment you could give, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways that people will use a lot of big words, but I think when crypto and everything is so complex, and it's so easy to use fancy words to get people excited and start to play with the emotions. And it's really the emotions you gotta kind of drill down and be even keel. Your simple approach is cool. And so I guess my question, sorry, it took a little while to get there.
No.
How do you absorb all of the information out there amongst the noise? How do you absorb all of that to keep it simple from a non-technical / analysis perspective? Do you even follow the narratives? Do you even follow influencers, or do you just primarily focus on the charts, the price, and the technicals?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. I kind of like to be there. I try to surround myself with smart people, and I've got a pretty good following list who I pay attention to. But I take everybody with a grain of salt, and I'm kind of weak on the fundamentals, which is why I enjoyed listening to what the fundamental analysts have to say. But I get that they're all just speculating, and I'm always kind of monitoring my own thought process and making sure I don't get too carried away with something, they say, right? But I want to be aware of it. It's all in the mix. I'm paying attention to sentiment. What I don't do, what I almost never do, is pay attention to another person's chart. Even I still follow the best chartists out of respect, but I'll never make my decision on someone else's chart. I have to trust my own gut and feel. Like simple approach. Like I've lost all my. New traders start out and they go through this journey where they're like, oh, if I just use the RSI, that would I had followed this signal, and then they add the stochastics RSI, and then they add the MACD, and then they add the Williams, and they add like 16 indicators, and they all of a sudden they got nothing, right? And you get back over time, you realize all that really matters is can the price hold support? When the price gets to a certain level, do buyers step in, and is there enough demand? And do they say, do bulls reject lower prices in the to use the wording of Steve Nissen in his candlestick book, which is really good, Japanese candlesticks. You think about the psychology of the market and how it's expressed in a candle body and the wicks and the kind of the progression of those and the texture and the progression of those bodies. And it's just really about, can you hold support? And if 100 is resistance, and every time it gets to 100, people are stepping up and selling because it's not worth more than 100, you have to pay attention to when it all of a sudden gets above 100. And so it just comes down to this simple approach. And so you can have a great theory about what's going to happen. The dollar index is going to go to zero because they're printing all this money. But like all dollar index, makes like an incredible run to like 118. Fundamental analysts, they're making their best educated guess, just like a technical analyst. But
Right.
TA is about the price, and that's the only truth. The price is the only truth. So that's what you have to start and end at, is that the price is the only truth.
Got it. Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, you talk a lot about your own personal gut and your own personal feeling, and it seems like trading and investing is very much a personal journey,
really?
And very psychological, being able to tailor and control, I guess, and manage your emotions.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Really?
It is. I mean, it's, April 21, that's like a little less than 2 years. And the first quarter of those 2 years, I would say, was an emotional roller coaster. And every action that I would take was because of an emotion that I had. And learning that and moving beyond that was just a huge gain in itself. And now it's like you become a little bit numb to what you hear and what the news is and what the influencers will say to you, which to me feels like growth. Anyway, what advice would you give for making everyone's journey a personal journey and not a copy of an influencer and what someone else is doing?
A lot of advice, honestly. First, have you watched my masterclass webinar on YouTube?
I have not. I got to check that out.
Oh, you'll love it. It's going to explain the really what you need to know, the basics of classical charting, Japanese candlesticks, volume, moving averages, all that stuff. And then go watch the free version of Trading Wisdom, my book. It sold 15,000 copies. I have a third of the book up there for free, the first 18 chapters. So go to the Trading Wisdom playlist. And that's all like trading psychology. And so it's a lot of stuff you're like asking about. You'll dig into it.
Awesome.
Is you need to be a rock, not a blade of grass blowing in the wind, right? You should never risk your hard-earned funds based on a tweet or chat room message. So if you kind of turn off that instinct, that's an important first step. And then you need to just journal. What's the trade? Why I'm in the trade? What I'm thinking? What I'm feeling? What happened afterwards? And just start this journey of self-reliance, because it's only about you. You have to rely on yourself. You can't rely on other people, and so that that will get you started.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. One last quick question: outside of crypto, are there any cannabis related stocks that you've got a position in?
I don't, but it's funny you ask. I have a dividend portfolio, old man dividend portfolio, and there's one I'm looking at, POTX. And I think it's all the non-US stuff, and it pays like a 3.3% dividend. I'm watching it. I don't want to buy it here yet because I try to wait till it's at least 5% or higher to buy. So if this thing dips lower, and it's in a downtrend, so I don't think I need to wait. I almost bought some because it's oh, I like weed. Let me buy this. No, just I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till that trend turns around, or it gets low enough that I'm interested in just scaling in for the dividend, So I'm just watching POTX. But if you're looking for marijuana stocks, check out at Chart Guys on Twitter, at Chart, CHARTGUYS. Chart Guys, Chartman Dan. He's in my top 5 recommended follows.
That's awesome. Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah,
and
thanks, man.
He's all over that space. He knows it better than anybody. All right.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Happy Friday.
You too, man. Happy Friday. Happy day.
Thank you.
Let's go with David Oscalo. David,
Hi,
what's going on, man?
Hi, Cheds. Thank you so much for taking my request. I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
It's regarding the MAs and the EMAs.
Yeah.
do I usually use moving average on a higher time frame?
So
And then
you haven't watched my masterclass webinar.
I knew you would bring that up too.
Well,
The
that's
whole
the whole
time I'm
point of that.
listening.
You know, I made those because I got so many repeat questions. I go over
I
the
figured.
difference
I figured.
between an MA, which is a simple moving average, which means equally weighted. So like, a 10, MA 10 means all 10 have the same weighting,
Hmm.
versus an EMA 10, which means the most recent candle has more weighting than the candle, 9 candles before that, right?
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
that's the difference. It's the same. It doesn't matter on the time frame. It's just that the longer the time frame, the stronger the signal. It's not that you change, an MA based on a time frame. So
Yeah, because
go
I've
yeah.
always used EMA, but I noticed like on certain altcoins, they respond more, at least some, more to the MA than the EMA.
Yeah,
So
you're on the
I
wrong
think that
track. You're on the wrong track. Like you think you figured something out, but you haven't. So I would just
I
stop.
gotta go. Okay.
All right.
All right. I'll look into that. Thank you
All
so
right,
much, Ed.
brother. Good luck to you, man.
Yep. Take care.
All right. Let's see. We'll do a few more here. Antem Dimitrov. What's
Hey,
going on?
Cheds, man, big ups. Much love.
Big
Yeah.
ups. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, thanks for doing this stuff. It's great to hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a quick question. I'm a poker guy in general. I've been in the
Me too.
yeah,
Me
I know
too.
you are, and I've listened to you and Dur and all sorts of other guys that are pretty big in the poker world.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tommy Dwan.
yeah,
Yep.
Tommy Dwan. Yeah, big bluff Tommy Dwan. My question is, because like in poker, bankroll management is just absolutely essential, right? And it's
Yeah.
impossible to
Totally.
win without it.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have any correlation between like how you would use your crypt, like just your overall trading bankroll? Is there certain ways that they correlate? Is it just like a fixed thing, like it is in poker? I have 40
You're
buy-ins and I'm just doing it by the book.
dude, I literally have a chapter in one of my upcoming books on this subject.
Oh, interesting.
Because I'm doing a poker and trading crossover book, but like I work so hard. It's like I want to give myself permission to not like write a book for a little bit and just chill out. But that's book 5. That's after I do the trading journal book. And so bankroll management is so similar. You think about like a multi-table tournament grinder,
Yeah, okay.
and like what are they risking? They got like no more than 2 or 3%,
Yeah, yeah,
like per
yeah.
buy-in, and it's kind of the same thing with your trade,
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
right?
definitely. I mean, I'm kind of like playing the same kind of just general ranges of binds that I would poker, and I'm kind of just trying to like make it up
Yeah,
my own
that's
little
it.
poker game in a way when it comes to.
It's you're gonna find. I mean, you're on your journey, and so it's similar to poker. Also, like when you should 3-bet and you really don't want to, but you
Yeah,
should.
yeah,
It's like you have to not have fear of losing the money, but also, like it'd be easier to pull off that 3-bet on like a 1-2 table than like a 10-20
of
table on
course.
like no
Yeah,
limit.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's about understanding like the larger your position, the more hard, the more emotionally difficult it's going to be,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I have a quote in my quote book. The quote goes something like, "Cut your position size in half, and you'll be amazed at how much easier it is to handle it without the emotional over
Yeah,
involvement."
I remember that tweet. I think I liked it. I totally,
Good.
it resonated really well with me.
It's true,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
it's amazing. It's amazing how much easier it is to handle a position that's smaller, and that's why I recommend people take partial profits too, because every future decision you make represents, a smaller percentage of your risk assets.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cool, man. Hey, I love your
All
stuff,
right.
man. Thanks very much.
Thanks, man.
All the best.
Thanks for hanging out.
Take care.
Thank you, man. Stay strong. We'll do a few more. It's Friday night. This has been really fun. I'm Big Cheds on Twitter. Check out Cheds Trade on YouTube. This is episode 27. I haven't done one in a while because I'm trying to kind of take a break and enjoy things. But I thought it would be a nice opportunity to talk with some of you folks. Ayub, what's up?
Hi, Chad.
How you
How
doing,
you
man?
doing? First of all, excuse me for my English. That's not my first language, but I'm gonna try to do my best for you to understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
First off, I'm thanking you a lot for the knowledge you share. I've been following you for like 2 years now, and the way you try to share knowledge and try to help everyone. That's I really admire that about you. Even go out of your way to share parts from your book on YouTube for all of us to learn, and I really thank you about that.
Thank you,
My
friend.
my,
Thank you.
my question is, as from a hodler perspective, if I'm trying to pick coins to hodl for the next bull run, is it better for me to pick coins that have shown strength in the last bull run and made higher highs from May to 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 the end of the last year, or just I don't know, go with the fundamentals and pick.
There's no such thing as, first of all, there's no such thing as fundamentals. Okay. Um, so there's a couple of things at play. I think you definitely want to be looking at relative strength. So I would maybe pay attention to those ones. I wouldn't necessarily pay attention to the ones that made higher high last time. I'd pay attention to the ones that are showing relative strength now, the ones that are above the MA 200, type of thing on the daily.
Yeah.
But here's the deal though. Like if we are in a new genuine bottom in a bull run, the stuff that's going to do the best, we probably don't even know about it yet. Like Soul that came through, all the biggest, most explosive gains are the new coins, right? So that's why the stuff like Link and like XRP is always probably going to suck. It's the older, it's always the newer stuff that does the best, right? So yeah, you want to keep an eye on the older stuff and pay attention to whatever's showing relative strength. But the real unicorns are the ones that you and I have probably never heard of.
So, for example, should I narrow it down and go from higher highs from May to the end of the last year and pick coins that like recovered the loss from pre FTX collapse?
Yes, I would look at what's been the strongest since really November.
Okay.
That's what's the most important.
Okay. Thank you, man. Thank
All
you
right.
for all the knowledge.
Because
I really appreciate. Okay.
thank you.
So,
And by the way, your English is really good. So give yourself credit, okay?
thank you. I'm from Morocco. Big fan. I'm gonna keep
Oh,
following
parlez-vous
you.
français? Parlez-vous?
A bit, not as good. Not as
You
good.
got that? You got that? If I come there, will you cook up that tangine for me?
Yeah, for sure, man. You're welcome, for sure.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. All right, man. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because no one else wants to speak. I'm Big Cheds on Twitter. Check out the free version of my book on YouTube, Cheds Trading. Author of Cheds Trading. It's done really well, and thank you for that. I just published a new book, Trading Quotes, Kindle hardcover, audiobook, paperback. I'm actually recording right now the audiobook for my first published book, My Battles with Cancer, and I'll give that to you for free. Like, so if you know someone who's fighting cancer, I'll just send you that book. So reach out to me and I'll email it to you. So let's see. Are we got a couple more who want to speak? You'll be the last few. We'll work through this and then we'll end it. All right. And also check out Bitcoin Live if you want to learn how to trade. Let's go with Robert first. What's up, Robert? Couple last minute callers came in here. Robert, what's going on? What would you like to say?
Hello. Hi.
Yo, what's up,
much
man?
love from Romania. My question.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it is 3 a.m. So my big question is, so
Yeah.
I've just recently started to future trade, and of
Yeah.
course, being a newbie, I went short on 18K, and now
Yep.
and I didn't have a stop loss. So my
Why
question is,
not?
because I'm stupid and I'm learning.
Well, we're all stupid. We're all stupid, but like it's a question of when do you choose to stop being stupid? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I know. I'm on the path right now.
Like you can be stupid, but like why stay stupid, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you can be
no.
wrong, but why stay wrong?
Now I've learned that lesson. The question is how do I try to fix that that bad position? Do I just wait for pullback?
What do you mean?
Do I add like money when
No,
to get
I
out
don't.
of?
You're asking me what to do with your short from 18K?
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to say. I mean, look, look. Here's what I will say. You know, and look, this is tough because I'm long from 18K, but I just took a small short, right? But it's a small
Yeah, I
short here.
understand taking shorts on the top.
So, but honestly, though, you know, you should never risk money and then get on like a Twitter Spaces and ask some guy what to do when you were wrong a week ago.
Yeah, I understand. Just
You got to sort it out. You got to sort that out. But I'll say this quote. Here's what I'll say. Here's a quote from my book. If a reason to enter your trade no longer exists, then a reason to exit your trade now does exist.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or was that too like fancy?
It does make sense. And
Like you
another
gotta look, just embrace being wrong. Like when because every time you quickly admit you're wrong, you're like, I just saved myself money, right? Every massive loss was once a small loss you refuse to accept.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense.
All right, you have a good night, brother. Okay.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, man.
Thank you, bro. All right, what's up with my man Edison?
Hey man, how are you doing, Cheds?
Pretty good.
Didn't
I'm gonna
want...
wrap it up, but I'm glad you stepped in. What's going on?
Yeah, okay. I just didn't want to let you go without saying thank you, so thank you, and that's it.
All right, man. Do you have any question? Do you have a question?
No questions. Going to buy your book right now, so
good.
Maybe next time.
I hope you do well. Check out my YouTube masterclass series, okay?
Yeah, I'm on half of it, so
Wonderful. Good. Very nice. I'm happy to hear from you, okay?
good. Bye.
Take care. Take care, buddy. Let's go with we'll do lightning round. If I bring you up, please be quick. Olaseb. What's going on, Olaseb? Olaseb Ikan Oluwafakami Michelle.
Oh,
What's
hello,
going on?
Chad. I'm good. How are you doing, Chad?
I'm doing good, man. What can I do for you today?
Oh, I think a lot of my question has been answered, but anyway, I still want to commend you and appreciate you for the good work you've been doing, sharing your knowledge so far.
Thank
You are
you.
really appreciated. So, though
Can I guess where you're from?
I'm from Nigeria anyway.
Oh, I was gonna say Ghana. Okay, good.
No. But I stay in the UK. So I want to ask some question.
One question. I'm getting ready to
Yeah,
wrap it up.
yeah.
Quick
One of the
question.
question I want to ask is, can we still see any deep correction? Maybe when we hit that 25.5K to probably like something 15 or 16. Is this still
15 or
possible?
16.
Yeah.
Why did you skip over the most important level of support?
Oh. No, I'm just asking.
No,
Just wondering
18K,
probably.
18K. Why would you not ask me about 18K?
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
most important level. That's when I went long, when we got back up above 18.5, when we recaptured the lost support level from that 150-day consolidation from June to November.
Yeah.
So, right, that's the most important level in support. Will we go there? I don't know. We're at a very important level right now, 22.5, 22.6, 22.7. This is a big level, right?
Okay.
So let's see what happens here. If we break through here, let's watch the May 12th lows at 25.5, and we'll see what happens there.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Shed, can I ask one question more, please?
Real quick.
Okay, please. Are you accumulating now?
No, but I have a long trade.
Okay, but why are
I'm
you not
long. I have a
accumulating,
pretty good
please?
long from 18.5. I went for it. I had to. It was just a big signal. I couldn't ignore it. But like, I'm not really accumulating. I'm not like a believer necessarily yet. I don't, accumulating. Yeah, I wouldn't really think about it that way, but I'm definitely long.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I think I
Thank
get
you.
you. All right, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
I'm gonna go real quick. I want to get you folks up real quick. All right, Josh, what's up, man?
Cheds, what's up? Hey
What up,
everyone.
So I'll make it quick. Just to sum up everything you've kind of talked about in the spaces, we're looking at a 150-day range that we've been in previously, which was 18.5 to about 21.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so being in this strong area now, for us to break through 22.5, are we getting all the way back up to 28, 29, 30K before
25.5, the peak. Look at where Josh, look at where the price stalled at the end of July, and where which coincided with the lows of May. You know, that May 12th low, that flash. Remember that day in May 12th?
Yes. I'm looking at the chart.
Right, that low. I remember that. I remember the day. I took like 150, 200 trades in that day. It was like it was a crazy volatility day. I was in everything. I was like, holy, like tons of, and we got that high wave spinning top, that big wick, long lower shadow, small bodied. And so when the price in July and August rallied, we did the rising wedge. That's where that rally faded. So you got to break through that first before you get to 28K.
If we showed massive weakness though around 29, 28, after breaking through 25, like that's where I would start to get really, really apprehensive to look for a deeper pullback. And I guess that's where my question was for you though, is like, how much are you actually watching like the Dixie?
Are you still there?
To really try to match
You
up.
zoomed out. I'm not trading the Bitcoin based on the Dixie.
No, I know you're not, but I know a lot of guys look for, confluence. Do you not give that any weight at all?
Not really. I mean, I'll look at the larger trend, but I'm not going to like trade the day-to-day iterations of it. I'm aware of what it's doing and the implications on risk assets, on metals, on bonds, all that stuff.
Okay.
Bitcoin, I'm trading level to level. If we break 25.5 and we reject at 28K, I'm buying at 25.5 on the bullish throwback.
Okay.
And I might also short at 28K at the same time. Like I'm playing all the levels. I'll just play it level to level,
So what's the level after 25.5,
28K. 28K.
Yeah, 28, 29. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is like, if I see like real weakness, like us limping into 28.
Yeah.
I think that's
but
where
I'm short. Like we're not here. I took a small short here. I'll take a short at 25.5 and I'll take a short at 28K, even with the longs I have from 18.5. There's still a trade. There's still a trade.
Yeah, there's
there.
always
I'll
a
take
trade there there's always a trade there level to level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But like to just give some guys some value here, the guys that are still listening in.
Yeah.
When you're in profit, like Cheds is on these longs, what he's trying to say is like the confidence that you have, the security you have in your decision making when you're already in profit on those longs gives you that trigger pull, that ability to pull the trigger on these short to play these quick shorts, from level to level.
Yeah.
And that just I found the same way. I've kind of learned that from you. I've picked up on that, where I just feel very fluid in my decision making when I've got like a deeper long that I'm sitting pretty on, and then I'm able to play those quick short trades, going short, just again level to level. So
we've been lucky though, bro. We've been really lucky because like it was an explosive reaction to breaking 18.5.
We're all caught off guard by this. I'm gonna be honest.
That just confirms that was the level to watch. Like, I mean, I'm like, hello. Like, I mean, that's obviously been the level to watch. And yeah, I get it. Like, people who got long before that, like they guessed right, and I didn't try to guess. And I'm happy I'd rather be late to the party than show up at the wrong party. And so clearly it was the right party, because we saw what we did when we broke 18.5.
When you and you're like in my top 5 follows, by the way. I really appreciate you and all your content. Bought both your books, your trading books.
Oh, thanks. But you listen to Trading Quotes. You've read that one?
I have.
What do you think about it?
No, I haven't finished it. It's actually a great book to just have on the coffee table to reference every now and then.
Yeah.
But I was just going to give you, I think, a good indicator of sentiment getting caught off guard here by this push up. is you look at a guy like Trader One SZ at Trader One SZ. You know, he's been killing it lately, and even right now he's just like in shock. You know,
Sure.
So
he's really good. He's really good. He trades a lot of levels, and he takes a lot of shots, and he's not afraid to take the shots because he manages his risk really well. You know?
Yeah. Yes, he does.
All right, man. Thanks for stepping up.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear from you, man. Thanks for all the feedback.
No,
Take care,
thanks
bro.
for everything. Take care.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, bro. Be good. Thank you so much. I got a bunch of people. I was going to kind of wrap this up, but more people want to speak. If I bring you up, please be as quick as possible, and I'll try to just get through you. Christian, what's up, Christian?
Hello, Cheds. It's a great pleasure to speak to you personally, the first time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much. My question is, I was just coming back 2 or 3 days.
Guten Tag. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, yes. Okay. I was just coming back 2 or 3 days ago from holiday, and I'm actually not in a trade, but I would like to take a trade from here, short.
Right here's a good spot.
Yes, and where would you put the invalidation? When is the short to stop?
22.8, maybe 22.8.
22.8. Okay.
Yeah, I think we either like pause. I mean, I jumped in a little early. I'll probably get stopped out, and that's okay. It was a 1 hour, outside bar, but this is as good a spot as any to pause, right? Based on what we know now. Now we can just wait. Like it might just pause here. It might just go. We might get more information in the coming days to give us kind of a new thesis, right?
Okay.
But this is kind of the best working short thesis is just a simple pause and consolidation and possible rejection, at the 22.5 pivot level.
Okay. And where would you see the goal? Where should it go if it's going short?
The goal may be, any loving's good loving, any profit's good profit. 18.5, right?
18.5 would be great.
18.5. Yeah, bottom of the range. 20K maybe. 20K, it's got a little bit of short-term support there too.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Thank you very much for the answer.
And it's my pleasure.
Thanks,
my friend.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you, bro. All right, OX Fiend. What is up, OX Fiend?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you just fine.
Well, the thing that I wanted to ask you was, how do you deal with doubt? Because
geez, oof, great question.
Because whenever I'm making a trade, I'm often racked with doubt.
Are you from Scotland or
Ireland?
Ireland, yeah.
But often, what I do is I take a short, and then I have second thoughts, and then I pull out of it.
Yes. Yeah. You know why? So first of all, if look, couple questions. Have you watched my masterclass series on YouTube yet?
No, but I've followed you for a while, and I've looked at your quotes, and one of the things that really struck me was whenever you said, if you don't have conviction, you should pull out of a trade.
Yes. Oh, 100% right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's everything.
But often
you've got nothing if you don't have conviction.
I find I don't have enough conviction, and I'm waiting for that kind of absolute clear signal, which never seems to come.
There's a super easy answer. It's just your position size is too big, man.
Position size is too big. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too big. You're just uncomfortable with the idea of losing that money. It's not even a hard question to figure out.
Yeah.
It really, and you know it. When I posed it to you, it seems like it makes sense. It's obvious, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You look you can't poker, right? In poker, right? And I said the other guy, the minute you think about losing a certain dollar amount, it's over. You have to play the game based on the strategy of the game, and not because if you have to make a play that's 70% likely to be a winner.
Yeah.
And if it fails, you're just okay, I'd gladly do it again. You have to have no fear of losing money if you make the right move.
Okay.
Which is why you're never going to make the right move if you have fear of losing money. So cut your position size in half. That doesn't work, cut it in half again.
Yeah. That makes sense.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you very much.
Watch the masterclass webinar.
Okay, I will.
There's 4 videos. It's going to give you a lot of tricks and tools that you need to kind of read the trend.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, man. We'll wrap it up here. A couple more. BZ, thanks for being patient. J Brew.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, dude?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm drinking a 25-ounce Budweiser tonight, so I'm not like,
How's it treating you?
It's all right. I'm not going elegant, like you, but
it's like a $12 bottle of wine, so I don't know how elegant it is.
Yeah, the cheap one.
But it
the
sounds
cheapo, huh?
But it sounds no. But I'm telling you, like by the second glass, I'll kind of taste the same. But no, this is a good bottle. It's still 92 in the Wine Spectator, 92 points.
Yeah. Where'd you
right?
get it? HEB?
And it's $12. No, there's just like a local HEB is a good spot. There's a bunch of them down south.
Yeah.
But 92. It was just like a local whatever, a liquor store. But 92 points, $12. I have a friend who I always argue with. He's like, "Oh, you can't buy wine for less than $20." I'm like, "Come on, man."
Yeah, Malbec's pretty good, man.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
But I went short ETH at 1662.
Really? I'll go take a look in a second. I'm packing a bowl here. So what's your thesis in that?
I don't know, man. Like just a huge run up lately. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So, but is it based on the price doing something, or more of just a
just
feel?
a feel?
Like, how do you know when your idea is wrong?
I guess when I get liquidated.
It's not good.
I know.
Is it a small position?
Yeah. I always take very small positions, and
okay.
But I feel like I never take profit. I try to hit the home run.
Sure.
Yeah. But
my recommendation would be to take your position and do multiple positions. So if you want to bet $500, do 5 $100 positions.
Okay.
And then 2 of those 5 positions take profit on and leave the other 3 for the home run.
Okay.
And then you at least you got to pay yourself for a good idea. You got it. There's no feedback loop. It's like you got to condition yourself to at least get to reward yourself for a good idea. Otherwise, what the hell are you doing?
So you're saying like 5 different positions at the same price, or
100% right. 100% right. Yeah, you got to find ways to add flexibility and give yourself more flexibility, more adaptability, right? Rather than these kind of all or none type decisions.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
That's my
I'll try
general
that. I've never done
philosophy.
that. I've never done that.
It will work.
Okay.
You'll be all right. You'll do well. All right.
So I mean, like, is it? Did we hit the bottom, or is it like? I mean, is it?
I don't know. I think it's more likely than a month ago for sure. I think if we get above really 25.5, I think the bottom's probably
That's crazy, man.
Like almost definitely in. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. I gotta run. It's good to hear from you, man. Enjoy the beer.
All right. You too. All right.
All right. I see some friends showing up here. I'm kind of running out of gas, but I'll do my best. If I bring you up, please be quick. Devonte, what would you like to say, Devonte?
What's up, Cheds, man? I actually hopped in really late, man, but I heard you all speaking about Bitcoin and it shooting up to 25.5 and then to 28.5 potentially. My thing
that was a question from someone in terms of a theoretical. It wasn't necessarily what I'm saying will happen.
Okay. But theoretically,
but those are big levels to look at. I mean, those are
those are super big levels. Those are big levels. But one thing I was going to touch on, I believe, and I want your opinion on this. So basically, yes, Bitcoin is rallying, and basically all the major cryptos are rallying. Also, the stock market is rallying because of what the Federal Reserve, what they set the interest rates at for this month. Let's say next month they raise the interest rate because they already said that they will continue to raise the interest rates every single month. Do you believe we've already hit the bare bottom with Bitcoin?
Why do those have to have anything to do with one another? I mean, it was like that was like I walked in the park and it was a beautiful day, and so do you think I should wear the red shirt? It was just it was I don't know what, like, it was a very interesting train of thought. So like to answer the what am I trying to say? You suggested certain things to be true, which may or may not be true, such that based on Fed policy, Bitcoin is going to do X, Y, or Z. Like that may or may not be true, right? You suggested that there's this correlation between equities and Bitcoin. That may or may not be true, right? There's certain times it does, times it doesn't. So there's just a lot of speculation about things you can't control. And so for me, you know, can Bitcoin stay above 18K? We're back into that range, right? Can we break above the, this 22.5 level? Can we break above the May 12th lows, 25.5? I kind of like just focus on what I can see in front of me. There's so much speculation about what it means in terms of pace of hikes. Another 50 basis points or 25 basis points. And then there's a question of how much the market, bakes in expectations. That's just so much speculation. You can't do anything with that. Like, for guys like me and you, what is the point of focusing on that?
It has been kind of correlated because as interest has been going up, the market has. I said it has been kind of correlated with the amount of interest that has been shooting up, because the Feds, the way they're shooting up the points has been crazy, and it also put us in a bear market. That's why I was asking, like,
but what kind? I mean, not that big a bear market. I mean, it just it's still a secondary trend to the primary or secular bull trend.
That is true.
So it's just a matter, when you ask some person, is it a bull or a bear market? It usually depends on where they got in. Right.
Got you. Yeah.
So we gotta, and you sound like a smart guy, and so I get what you're saying. I just think you have to focus on what you can control. And I find that when we rely too much on correlation, it's fine, but be open to new information that may break the correlation. Like you just really have to trade everything within the four corners of the chart that's in front of you, and you just have to just approach it that way, and let that guide you. Does price hold support or not? Does it break resistance? Are there enough buyers to kind of switch things around? So that's just what I focus on. I find it works well for me.
All right, man. Thank you for that advice, brother.
All right, you stay good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's go with Giant.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good, man. How you been?
Very well, thank you. I was listening to OX Fiend. I think he was saying before, and he had a good question about doubt. And he sounded very similar to where I had been recently, or maybe 6 months ago. A couple of things that I found really helped me, and I'm sure he might want to take some advice on. He can do as he please. Journaling is a huge one, and using it to find your trading strategy. You'd be able to hone out what works and what doesn't. And a couple books that really helped me with that was Mark Douglas's Trading in the Zone, and some Van Tharp books as well. Trading and Investing with the Red Pill was one of them. I highly recommend them for anyone that's struggling with doubt or self-confidence in the market.
Oh, that's great. I've heard a lot of good things about the Trading in the Zone. I haven't read
it. Man,
myself, but I might read the audio book.
Yeah, that's what I listened to originally, was the audio book. It was a really, really good listen. And yeah, it changed my whole mindset for trading. Couldn't recommend it enough.
All right, good.
That's all I have to say.
I'm running late here. But I'm glad to hear from you.
You too, man. Take it easy.
Thank you, man. I wish you well.
You too.
I tried to wrap it up like 30 minutes ago, but all these people showed up. Pharaoh, you've been patient. Crypto Seth, what's up, Crypto Seth?
Hey, what's up, Cheds?
How you doing?
I'm fine. Talking here from Austria, so also German speaking here. I have just maybe two questions. What's your
one question? It's late.
Yeah. What's your opinion? And generally, do you trade NFTs?
No, never traded them, never touched them.
Okay. Might your opinion
I don't understand
change,
them. I sort of understand them, but I don't understand. I'm pretty skeptical on them, but there's an active market. So if there's an active market and there's certain ones that do better than others. I can understand that and respect that, but it's not something that I don't think I'll ever get involved in it.
Oh, that's sad, but like I would really like be interested in your stance. Hopefully, you might get into it one day.
I won't. I'm not going to.
Okay. That's it. Thanks.
What's your other question?
Okay.
What's your other question?
The other question would definitely be, what's your opinion on Bitcoin NFTs? But
I mean, it's anything that brings volume and interest is good. But I'm just, like, it's one of those things where I really don't know anything about NFTs. So I'm just, it's like conversation killer. So sorry, brother. I don't have much for you there. Okay.
Maybe just one last question is like, do you don't care like trading on centralized systems or maybe decentralized solutions on Ethereum, or do you just trust the central authority?
Wait, are you talking about like decentralized exchanges versus centralized exchanges, or are you still talking about NFTs?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very interesting topic, and that's a problem. And it's like, how do you on-ramp retail if you can't even like hold your coins, not your keys, not your coins? Yeah, I get it. And but like, can the average person really figure out how to self-custody? I mean, it's not like super hard, but it's not like super easy either. And so how do you on-ramp retail? And if like, FTX goes under, I mean, everyone thought it was safe. I thought it was safe.
Yeah.
And I get why people were promoting them because it seemed legit. So, and that's why I'm not at least personally going to shit on people who, promoted them because they didn't, it seemed legit to me, and I would have gotten it wrong too. So
I traded there.
That's a big problem for the space is if we can't like custody, self-custody versus centralized exchanges. I mean, that's a big deal. So luckily there's a market, there's a demand for a solution. So a solution will be found. I believe the market is at least somewhat efficient and the market will sort that out. Yeah. And I'll be interested to see how it plays out.
A lot of people say like the future is account abstractions. You might just
no idea what that is.
Just
I don't know.
Check it out.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a good night,
you
man.
too, man.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, man. All right. What's up, Burnside?
Hey, Cheds.
How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there.
That's all we can do.
Hey, yeah, no shit. Same. I know you're trying to get off this thing, so I'm gonna save the questions until next time.
No, I got you. I got you, man. I got you. What's happening?
Okay, I tell you what. I'll keep it simple. When you talk about holding multiple positions, do you do that through multiple exchanges or
one
exchange? Are they all spot?
No.
Wow. Okay. If you ever want to like shoot out a tweet, maybe explain how you manage different positions without consolidating.
What do you mean?
Well, because I notice when I'm trading futures, I get into a situation where if I'm like laddering or I'm trying to diversify positions with leverage, what it does, they consolidate. They all just impact, all of my different entries become.
Isn't that a difference between isolated margin versus mind you, I've had like 3 glasses of wine, but it's a difference between like isolated versus like isolated position versus cross trading versus isolated. Like, I mean, you just most of the places I've seen you trade, you enter your positions and it's just this one's 2x, this one's 3x, this one's 5x, this one's whatever, and there's your positions.
Okay, so that would be probably out of derivative margin.
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Not that brilliant.
Well, no, I mean that helps me a lot because I think it's actually conceptually novel, in a way that like I ladder into positions all the time, and I try to identify optimized entry, and it gives me the opportunity to like identify my stop losses.
I think it is like just different tickets at the horse race. They're just different tickets that I can kind of this one I'll cash in, this one I'll hold on to, this and I'll just hedge it a little bit.
Brilliant, I like it.
All right.
Like it. Have a great weekend. I know you got a wife and daughter.
They let me. They're watching Netflix. We're good. All right. Thanks, man.
Right,
See ya. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cleve, have you figured out the audio? You've been in and out like 6 times.
Yeah, 18 times a charm. So we're good now.
I'm like, what's he doing? He's having like a seizure over here.
Yeah, I was spazzing out, but Persistency is key. So thanks for the patience. Thanks for having me up. But yeah, we got it all sorted. I just had to close the app and hop back on again. So
that's what it is usually. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep DMing Elon Musk, see if he can help me out. But
yeah, right.
I'll stop pandering here. But I know you said you're trying to dip out of here. Enjoy your Friday night. But
you ever watch Seinfeld? Do you ever watch Seinfeld?
I don't. I'm not a huge TV show guy, but it sounds like
he's always tries to leave on top. He's like, you're in like it's just like a funny character, and you'll be in like a social situation, and he's kind of like down in his luck character, but like say he's in a social situation, he says a really funny joke, and everyone's laughing. He'll like, all right, he leaves the room right after that, so like he can leave on top, So I know when I'm fading and the mojo's fading, so that's what I'm going for.
That sounds like I have some homework then to do. Besides,
it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's really.
But no, I wanted to. I was just gonna kind of tune in and listen to what everyone else was saying and kind of hear what you were saying.
Cool.
But I heard a previous speaker in here, just a speaker or two ago. I think it was BZ that was talking about shorting, and I just to kind of, I don't know, give my insight on some stuff. Not that an anonymous person on Twitter matters, but just to offer what I feel like would be good insight. But talking about just shorting kind of blindly at 1662. I messaged her. I was going to message him and tell him jinx, because I actually have the exact same entry. But I was more so just waiting for this for probably the last week or two, actually. And I shared that picture up in the nest, but kind of like the 1650 to 1680s, give or take the exchange you're using, kind of that given range on and sorry, I'm just on my phone. I'm not by my laptop. I don't have it on me, but I just wanted to give that visual, but it kind of into a range high. I mean, we call it a small pullback on those 2 days that we had midweek where the S&P sold off a little bit. But besides that, I mean, we've had for ETH, we've had 4 red days since the start of the year. But so minimal pullbacks. Now we're into a decent range area with Bitcoin now at another leg of resistance. I know you've tossed it out there, but it's not labeled.
Oh, you're shorting Ethereum here?
I took a stab at ETH. I mean, Bitcoin too, but
I
was just kind of giving some context as to So for
BZ,
so for BZ, I mean, we've just kind of like my idea as to why I'm short, and just kind of maybe if he's still in here, I'm not sure if he is or not, but kind of my reasoning behind it is, again, we are pretty extended in terms of just being straight up. Granted, crypto can be crypto and can continue a lot longer than most people think, but so for me, it's, I'm taking what I consider relatively low risk, high reward here with trying to fade after such a high move, but we're into a decent level of resistance where we've had a substantial sell off previously after, again, minimal pullbacks, and my invalidation is pretty tight. I mean, my stop is going to be resting a little bit higher. I mean, I would have liked us to sweep the highs exactly, which I think was like 1675, 1680. I think we went to like 1670, but I placed mine a little bit wider. I'm not using crazy high leverage, and it's not super sized. I'll add to it if need be, but I just had my stop kind of above. I had it conservative, but I did like 1715 area, give or take, just above. I didn't want to get wicked out by like a psychological wick to 1700 or something. That's happened way too many times. So for me, lower leverage, patience with it. But for me now, like, everyone's getting all bulled up, and that was supposed to be 2-3 weeks ago. Granted, I'm still thinking the macro economy's not looking good for the next year or so. So I didn't play too heavy. I got stopped out actually on a Bitcoin long down at 15, which that's the only regret I have. But had too tight of a stop on that one, so that's why I'm kind of running a little bit more of a conservative one here, just to give myself a little leeway.
Afraid? Do you have any thought that you're missing that Bitcoin long might make you want to short more?
Not really. I would say 6 months or a year ago, yeah. But at this point, I don't really care which way we go, because I guess to back that is, I mean, bull, bear, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if we zoom out, like, we are considered, range bound at this point, with 2000 being the high, 800 being the low. So it's not like we're ripping to new highs or anything like that. So I'm not in a rush. I'm in a few group chats that a couple of friends and I have been in touch with since 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
And then we're chatty all the bull market last run, and now is a ghost town. But now they're starting to chirp a little bit, getting excited and stuff. But in all honesty, like I wouldn't say that makes me feel FOMO, because I'm just kind of sticking to the plan of knowing that the macro econ doesn't look great in terms of overall, but I don't know what that's going to mean
No
for
soft
Bitcoin,
landing, or
because
what? You don't think we're gonna get a soft landing?
I don't know. It just depends. There's so much like data, economic wise, and I'm not by any means an economic expert, but I've been putting so much focus into that the last year or so. But like all the leading indicators like PMI, PPI, your small business index, the NFIB, and things like that. I can't remember if Michael Cantro was ever in a space or not with you. But I've just been binging his stuff and listening to him as much as I can on Spaces. He's an awesome follow with the whole hope cycle. So if anyone needs some economic data, definitely give him a follow. But and it's like all of those signs just point to slowing growth in the economy, which is going to have a domino effect on profits for companies. And
so you think even though we're bouncing now, it will eventually fail? Like with kind of thing. Like with equities, look at equities. Equities are potentially breaking the
break.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, that macro trend line on the S&P that's just been an absolute wall.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I don't want to say like I think we make new lows. It wouldn't be surprising if we did, but I'm in the camp of maybe we make new lows, but maybe it's further out than what people expect. Some people are calling for like Q1 or Q2, but like I don't know if these leading indicators are going to show up necessarily in the next 2-3 months. Next week will be very telling because we have a GDP print for the previous quarter. So if it's weaker than what was anticipated or forecasted, then maybe that data is starting to show a little bit sooner. But it's all kind of like a juggling act, I feel like. And for me, I'm, like I said, not a huge economist and just kind of YouTube University over here. But it's just for crypto, it just seems like it's, maybe this is the range that we're going to be in until macro conditions ease up, or who knows. Again, Bitcoin hasn't been in a true recession. And we'll see what happens, as
there's a lot of reasons for caution outside of the chart, but
being defensively bullish or just being defensive.
Yeah, defensively bullish is a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
I think that's a great way to look at it.
Trying to just short this thing after we're down 70+%, a year into this. But it's not great risk reward, more of just scalping. But like doom and gloom, constantly looking for new lows or Bitcoin to 3 or 6 or 10K.
I think we put that on hold for now.
Just level to level until something happens. But it just seems take it these macro resistances and things like that, and again, like you said, just being cautious, or kind of like we just mentioned, just being cautious, being defensive, kind of stacking your cash, and not really. Once easy mode comes, if easy mode comes, I won't say when, nothing's guaranteed, but if that time does come, that we do see, that historic Bitcoin or crypto run that we've seen in, over the last decade and a half at this point. Once we start to see more bullish times where, these rallies become kind of regular for a few weeks or a few months, and then that transition into alts, like just having the capital and having kind of the mental stability, I guess, at that point, not blowing yourself out prior, and catching that cycle is what's going to matter the most. So just kind of looking to play.
It'll be fun either way,
Yeah. Oh, and then just, right now, for me, I'm just kind of diving into spaces like this or other ones and just absorbing and trying to just grow as much knowledge as possible. So when that time does come, like, you're just better off and ready for that. So a little bit long-winded. Thanks for letting me just jump up. But yeah, for me, like I said, kind of just a small scalp short here. I'm not looking to really like take this thing to new lows, but we'll see what happens with equities in next week, but I'll just kind of ride this thing out or continue to watch it. But I might even entertain some longs if if Bitcoin does go back to the low 18s.
Yep. I'm already long
area,
though. I'm already long from 18K, and
I saw that. I saw your tweets. That's awesome.
Well, you have to. You have to. Even though it's been so bearish, you had to pivot when the price got back up above 18.5, and you saw the reaction in the market. So that's the thing where I'll wrap this up with, even though everything you're saying is smart and makes sense fundamentally, like when the price pivots, you have to pivot with it. So, that's what's going to be my focus going forward. All
yeah,
right?
fundamentals. I'll end on this. But yeah, fundamentals definitely can get in the way of if you just look at TA. Because I mean TA, like you said, kind of painted the picture that things were going to shape up, and I mean that big inefficient move from that FTX bloodbath that we saw in November.
Yeah.
There wasn't much liquidity there, and we just went straight through all that and came right back up to 20 once we busted through 18. So, So yeah, it's good stuff, man. But way to catch that, and hopefully anyone else who was following you caught that as well, and just secure those profits, and keep riding that train up. And thanks for having me up. I'll finish there, and hope everyone has a great weekend, and good luck next week, and good luck in 2023. Actually, I think this is your first Spaces of the year, maybe, unless I've been busy, missed one.
No, this is my first. I've been trying to
solid.
I want to enjoy myself and enjoy life. I worked so hard last year.
Well, that's why we all trade, right? You want to trade to live, not live to trade. So
I'm going to trade, and I published the book. I killed myself publishing his last book, and it's just I realized why. And it's a great book, but I'm not going to make a living in that book. But so I did it for the art of it almost.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, appreciate you having me up, and thanks for hosting this space, and everyone have a good one.
Take care, bro. It's good to hear from you. Folks, I do apologize if I don't get to you. I'll get you next time. I've been going for a few hours now. This is going to be episode 27, I believe, 27, 28, in my YouTube series of Twitter Spaces, where I get to talk to you, regular folks. And it's a candid conversation. I feel bad I'm not going to bring you folks in. All right, I'll bring you in real quick, lightning round. I'm going to get you 3 in. Jack, you go first. Jack, what's up? Jack, let's get you in real quick. What's up, Jack? Jack, anything there? Jack, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't hear you. Daniel, what is up? Daniel, hit that unmute.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, lightning round. What's up, brother?
Just want to thank you, first of all, for putting out all the content, all the good vibes you put out. It's great stuff.
Thanks,
you're pretty much the only person I follow on this kind of stuff.
Thanks,
hopefully this is a quick one, but I really want to just ask you what you do about from the emotional standpoint when you miss a trade. I can't imagine it happens very often with you, but
no, it does. What, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Every mistake I make, I've done it. I keep doing it. Don't put me on a pedestal. Trust me.
Because
I'm human.
Yeah. Well, like today, the position I'm in today, I've been watching that. I was watching that 21.6 level for all day. I was watching before that, and it didn't quite break. I think it was the 21.3. Didn't quite break it with strength. Got to 21.6, and then family stuff came up. So I'm hanging out. The kids are running around and stuff, and it broke that 21.6, and then it just shot off. And then at that point, I'm like, I don't want to chase it. And if I get in now, I know what's going to happen. It's going to drop back down, and then it just keeps going and going and going. So you're getting,
but it's at another big level now. That was a minor level, 21.5, 22.5, 22.6. That's a major level.
Yeah.
So this is a big level to watch.
Yeah, so
I think you have to go long if it flips this level.
So
but it's also level to short if you missed it.
When it flips, how can you tell if it's an upthrust and it's going to, because it's happened so often where it'll peak above and then it'll just plummet up?
It depends on your time frame. If you're trading, if you're an intraday trader, maybe you're trading 1 hour, 4 hour. If you have a regular day job, maybe you wait for a daily close. I tend to kind of trade the price action as it happens. Let me go back to your question. What do you do when you miss the trade? Just wait for the next one. You have to wait for the next best setup.
I thought that was going to be your answer. Yeah, just wait for the next
entry. I mean, that's it.
I
mean, if you miss a trade, you can sit around all day feeling bad for yourself, or you can just start studying and watch the next one.
Yeah.
And you gotta, I don't know. Are you just trading Bitcoin? Or are you trading other stuff?
I've got some kind of long-term holds in Ethereum and Cardano and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just hodling from. I've forgotten about, and I'll look at them again in another 2 years.
That's all fine. That's all fine.
Bitcoin, I'm trying to trade.
Yeah, if you're trading something, and make sure you're watching it, you don't kind of bounce around. So that's fine. You're not doing that. So, just understand there won't always be a trade on Bitcoin, right? When the price is sideways, nobody has an edge.
Yeah.
When there's volatility, you might have an edge. So you kind of wait for volatility, and then you try to apply your trend analysis skills, and you try to kind of identify a line in the sand for you to kind of formulate a trade.
Yeah, and for me today, that was that 21.6 level. I knew when it broke that I was going to go, but I missed it. It ran, and now I'm kind of hoping that has a pullback, because I haven't got another entry. Like say 25 levels probably the next step up. And
I don't think I would just doubt that we shoot straight up from here. I would just really doubt it. And it's Friday night. We're probably going to stop here and pause for the weekend.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I got to run, man.
Okay.
It's getting late. Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot. Cheers, Cheds.
Cheers to you. Real quick, Grown Give. Real quick, I'm going to get you folks in. I didn't want to leave anyone behind. Grown Give. Lightning round. What do you want to say? GRWN Give. Holder and giver. Are you there? All right, Thanos. Thanos Crypto God. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Real quick. Grown Give. I'll get back to you in a second. Actually, Thanos, you wait. Grown Give. Go ahead. What's going on?
Hey, thanks for picking me up.
No problem.
Thank you for the knowledge. 2, what's your take on leverage tokens? I know they're always on small exchanges, but gone. They hit or miss big.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play if you want to play a scratch ticket, like, go do it.
But it's a scratch ticket based on
what?
If you're following stop losses and major resistance levels in the spot market.
But how major is the level? If it's only traded on limited exchanges, if it has limited volume, limited price history, all those levels are not as valuable. Like, all levels are not created equal. You know what I mean?
So even if the leverage token, say, has 3-4 years worth of history that kind of matches, let's say,
that's
a major,
fair. That's legitimate. If 3-4 years of history, I can't disagree with that.
Okay. So it's not bad logic if you have something based on a major coin, Bitcoin, Litecoin, even Sol, and you go long or short 3 to 5 times on a leverage token, and you just proportionally managing your resistance and stop losses.
Yeah.
The question is, why not?
Why not? The why not would be if you are not properly managing your risk, right? Any idea is fine if you can clearly define when the idea will be wrong, and there's a reasonable risk reward based on that trade idea formulation. So whatever you're doing, if you're saying that you can come up with a trade plan that's easily definable, and you can easily define where it fails, and you're wrong, and the penalty for being wrong, is let's say only 1/3 of the penalty for being right. You want a 3-to-1, profit to stop loss ratio. And if it's a trade setup, anything close to that, I think you're fine.
Much appreciated. Thanks, Chaz. Have a great weekend.
Be good, bro. All right, last one, real quick. What up, Thanos? What's going on?
Hey, Chad. How you been, man?
Good, man. I'm doing good. How are you? What can we do for you?
Doing great. I know you're on Bitcoin, and I appreciate all the job you've been doing. It's been amazing the way you explain everything, And just wondering if you're actually on some other altcoin, like, I don't know, Media Network or some other altcoin.
No.
What about Sol?
I have a long trade from 15.
Awesome. No, that's pretty much it, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Good luck. Good night to you. I got to go to bed, but you folks keep showing up. I'll give you about 15 seconds each. Alpha, Jack, what's up, man? What would you like to say? Jack, are you there, Jack? All right, that's it. I can't do it. Too many people keep popping in and requesting. I have to say no at some point, folks. It's been about 3 hours. Episode 27, Ask Me Anything, Big Cheds. Check out all my free stuff on YouTube. I hope everyone is doing well. I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight and being part of the community. Check out Cheds Trading on YouTube, and I hope you have a great night. Take care, folks. Big Cheds out. That's what it was. Episode 27. I have several more to upload so I can get caught up. I plan to be much more active on Twitter rather on YouTube in May, doing some stuff in May. But go ahead, as a reminder, check out the Masterclass TA web list. Check out all the playlists. I think it's a lot of great stuff. I'm really proud of that. In this video, we'll go to Twitter Spaces. Of course, I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. I do a twice a week full market update. I've been doing that for 5 years, and I haven't missed an update in years. You can check out a free one of the recent updates I did is now free. Go to the public blog. Check out that March 13th video. Folks, I'll talk to you soon. Hope everybody's doing well. Peace.